home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Catch Sun Devil baseball for the final season in the Pac-12 Conference. The Sun Devils host an incredible home schedule that features teams like Ohio State, Oregon, USC, and Arizona. Season tickets are available starting at $150, and limited seats are still available at the field level. Grab your seats today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhalgh and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Our Chandler Police benefit from serving a supportive community. That strong partnership equips our police with the support, training, and technology needed to keep our city and employees safe. Our sunny skies and active lifestyle offer personal and family time for the desired work-life balance. Find your fit with the Chandler Police Department. Learn more at jointeamchandler.com. This message is sponsored by the City of Chandler.
Going to college and not acquiring debt is possible with the help of the U.S. Army. You'll be able to choose the career you want and receive help to pay for your full tuition. There are also reimbursements for student loans and GI Bill benefits. In the U.S. Army, your mission will be to learn. Learn how you can be all you can be at goarmy.com/AIA Sports. That's goarmy.com/AIA Sports.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting at K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. So here we are, another 6 months of not football starts now. 6 months of not football. Oh, sure, there's free agency, the draft, training camp, OTAs, preseason. But technically it's 6 months. 6 months from now before we're back to having actual football again.
Well, to NFL football.
Don't even start with me, White. Don't even bring up the awful uffle. Don't. I'm not doing the uffle.
I'm not talking about the USFXLL.
Dude, what the hell are you talking about then?
I'm talking about college football. It
starts about the same time as regular football.
It's about 2 weeks earlier.
Dang, still 6 months, give or take. And I'm not talking about college football. You know, Keon loves some college football, but really what we all show up for is the NFL. That's really it. I mean, a couple of thousand people watch college football, and that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, just a couple thousand people.
I don't know.
It's the same group of people who stand behind College Game Day shaking their signs. It's the same people.
Okay, but then multiply that by 160 college campuses plus people watching TV at home.
No, it's a couple thousand people. That's all.
I know two of the couple thousand, me and Keon. So
all right,
I look forward to college football.
1,002.
I love college football.
So here's the thing. Now, listen, by now, everybody's talked the hell out of the Super Bowl. Everybody's talked about the Super Bowl and all the stuff and the things and the that and the this.
Yeah.
There's three directions that we can go right now.
We're going to talk halftime show, aren't we? I didn't watch it.
We're going to talk about not the Super Bowl, or we're going to talk about the game, or we're going to talk about all the extra nonsense that goes around it. So those are the three directions we can go from right here and right now.
I mean, we've done worse. Right? We've gone different directions more than three. I mean,
so not talking about it yet, talking about the game, talking about the nonsense. Which way do you guys want to go first? I mean, because honestly, I'm just phoning it in today. Today should be a national holiday.
Today should be a national holiday.
Yeah.
I'm for. Let's start with some nonsense. I'm okay with some nonsense.
You want to go straight to the nonsense, the Super Bowl nonsense?
Why not? It's what we do.
All right. I was going to start with the actual game and everything that happened, but I guess we can. You know what, Randy? You're right, because with the nonsense, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Usher halftime show. And now it's funny because there was a guy there. I was like, who the hell is that guy? Can't identify him. And I didn't know it until I just read it this morning who it was. Did you guys identify everybody who showed up in the thing? I know that you didn't watch it, Randy, so I guess that doesn't count. So
I didn't identify everybody, but I got most of the people. Like Ludacris showed up, and
will.i.am is the one I couldn't tell who he was because he had a big helmet thing with sunglasses on.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah, and OMG, that was will.i.am.
Yeah, there's
part of what works for you is your bug-eyed, look that he has. That so does Mike Tomlin. They're identical twins almost. And so when you cover them up with the glasses and I can't see your hair, you just got this helmet with the glass. I can't tell that's will.i.am. And he wasn't loud enough to go, oh yeah, that's will.i.am.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they didn't announce who the guest stars were going to be. They get up there and he has one dance move. I've just realized Usher has one dance move. It's effective. I'm not saying it's not effective. The ladies seem to like it, but there's this one thing he does with his feet. And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
the entire time. Am I wrong?
The thing is, I know he's got more moves than that because I've seen him.
Not in the halftime
but
show.
But in the Super Bowl,
same one over.
He did. It was the one move, and I'm like, well, whatever works, I guess. I don't know.
No, the ladies loved it. So there, and then Alicia Keys with that cool looking piano that she has, and they did "If I Ain't Got You in My Boo." Then Her came out. That was who that was with the guitar.
Yeah.
Say Her, Her. You Got It Bad. She was good. She was pretty good on the guitar.
Is it Her or is it Her? Because there's H period, E period, R period.
I'm just going to say Her.
I think you just say Her, though.
Okay, good. Then after that, will.i.am shows up in his weird ass glasses. Then Little John came out for Turn Down for What, which my wife was like, why didn't he just start with that? Then everyone would know who he was. Well, I think they were trying to close big, Ludacris shows up looking like Ben Stiller from Dodgeball in the
pads
blue and the pads and the stuff. I'm like, of course, then old Usher came roller skating back out. Then I'm just like,
which he did after Let It Burn, where he predictably wound up shirtless because that's what happens.
I told my wife, it's only gonna be a couple songs. The shirt's coming off.
I just didn't
expect that long.
I'm surprised it took that long. I'm surprised that he went there in the middle of the show. I'm surprised he put clothes back on. That's done me more than anything.
And then all of a sudden he's just sweating like Dan Snyder watching somebody go through his taxes. That just covered. And I'm like, get this man a hand towel or something. And so there was like 14 songs in all. They caught up. You Don't Have to Call, Superstar, Lovin' This Club, Confessions Part 2, Nice and Slow, Burn, Bad Girl. Only a couple of these songs I recognize. Then there is a whole lot of dancing. The whole lot of people dancing around there, and in the roller skates thing. I don't understand the roller skates thing. Why
roller skating is coming back, man.
It's not. I don't think it is.
It's coming back.
So what did you guys say? Good halftime show or a bad halftime show?
I'd say good, like solid. It's not like,
you
know.
Yeah, it was all right.
Prince is my favorite one. I think.
Oh,
I've ever
Prince!
seen.
Just
So
nobody can. Nothing compares to Prince.
Thank
you very much.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just masturbating a guitar behind a sheet. Who can top that in a Super Bowl halftime show? That's. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. That's what it was. Yeah, but no, he was just amazing. That was amazing. But I think let's just say, since we've been doing the show here on 1580 Fanatic, Shakira and J-Lo was probably the best show so far in like the last 10 years.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know. I did like though because I am a rap fan. I did like, Snoop Dogg and Kendrick Lamar and Eminem,
that whole
guys.
thing was
that
no,
one.
You're right. That was
a really good.
Yeah, that was really good too. No, actually, that was surprisingly. I for some reason I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but it was good. That was very good. That was a huge production.
Yeah,
that was big time. Like the
50
built
Cent
houses
rapping upside down for some reason. It just
that kind of ruined it. That took a
I was
lot
just like,
off it.
what is it about this song that requires that? And I never got a good answer, to be honest.
Just likes being upside down.
Or maybe he does.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
Now I got to think about that between Shakira and J-Lo. I mean, they put on a hell of a show.
They did.
And it's hard to compare, but the whole what did we call that thing? The rap Super Bowl halftime show. What would you call that?
I mean, I just generally do because that's the most I think they've ever focused on rap in a halftime show. Like usually it's the side part of it, but that was the main deal of that halftime show. So yeah, I think it's fair.
Florida Mustard says Dan Snyder tax comment close second to Gary Woodland brain surgery comment. Well done. I don't even remember what help me remember that because now I'm intrigued. Refresh my memory. You have to guys remember I do this show. I say the dumb stuff I'm going to say, and I immediately forget everything that was just said.
There's no script here. So no one remembers anything that anybody says.
I just made up the Dan Snyder joke right there when it happened. So
which was funny.
Thank you, Florida Mustard. Appreciate that. 888-368-1580. Navy Brad says, greetings, everyone. I predict for Super Bowl 59, the Minnesota Vikings will be there and win, ending our 48 years of not being there. Yeah.
Best of luck on that mission. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
He's doing this just so on the off chance it happens, he can have me come back and look at this tweet. But here's the thing.
Look at the tape.
Yeah. Heavy Metal Maniacs tried that on me earlier today because I was getting ready for the show and I looked up and he was already on the text line there. And I'm like, he said something. He says, please and thank you. He says, you can now refer to me as Heavy Metal Nostradamus, considering I picked the exact score of the Super Bowl and the winning team. If you won't change it, I'm fine with that too. Just thought it was great. It'll never happen to me before. It'll probably never happen again. So I was like, well, I'm intrigued. So I started scrolling up on Heavy Metal Maniac's feed. I'm like, I don't see a prediction anywhere. So then I asked him, I says, on what date did you predict that? Because I wanted to go there and actually see the text. He says, on the Fan Pick'em. Like, well, what? And so I go over to the Fan Pick'em site and I check the information. I look for Heavy Metal Maniac and it says, it doesn't say that. There was never a thing. So I sent him a thing saying, okay, Heavy Metal Maniac, you put 62 as your combined score. The actual combined score was 47. There is also no field to input an exact score. And I said, so well, what's going on there? And he says, well, the final score is what I was saying, not combined. But what? Well, 47 had nothing to do with it either. I'm very confused by Heavy Metal Maniac. And I'm not changing your name, Heavy Metal Maniac. I still don't understand what was going on. But yeah, everybody's going to try to claim that they said it. Lost Toby says it's baseball season now. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not spring training yet.
Kind of is.
Call me when it's spring training.
Pitchers and catchers are reporting as we speak.
Call me when it's spring training is actually happening and they're like playing
the
games.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Call me when that happens, but not like too early. Big George has this to say. He says, the town of Gilbert, I might just stop you right there. Yeah. He says, no, they've now renamed Brock Purdy Way to Super Bowl Loser Way. Oh, that's just
unnecessary.
Oh, we'll talk about it here in a minute. Bruno Baller says there's only about 4 weeks. Oh, yeah. Until it's March Madness. So you got that to look forward to. Yes, many days off. Thank you for that, Bruno Baller. Baker's Cocky Hen says Janet Jackson's nipple was the best show. It really was so quick. You didn't even see it. But
yeah, that's just I was the right age to be absolutely obsessed with that, and I missed it because I blinked. I never saw it. Just
yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. Donnie says I went in with low expectations, and Usher blew it out of the water. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a pretty. First, my wife was sitting there, and she's like, "Well, why is he standing on the field and everybody's just dancing that they couldn't afford a stage? What is this?" And then all of a sudden, he jumps on this big stage in the middle. So I wonder if they did that because they were still moving the stage, and that was all part of it. But whatever. I don't know. I didn't ask my wife. I didn't know if she liked the show or not. Florida Mustard says I'd be happy to. He says Jeffco, as nonchalant as he could be, says congrats to Gary Woodland for playing in a tournament only 3 months after brain surgery. And there he goes, walking out into the water, putting his pants on his head. Now I remember. I also made that up on the spot. That's why I forgot. Hurry Harry says, best commercial, Sunday NFL Pass, where the players were flying like birds. Yeah, that was really good, except for I'd seen it already. That's the problem. They have to stop releasing these commercials and before the Super Bowl, because then when you sit down, you watch, and you're like, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I didn't see it on YouTube or anywhere. I saw it as a commercial before the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why even do that.
And I didn't see it anywhere.
The better version of the Patrick Stewart, a Paramount Plus thing on the mountain, throwing the kid with the big head.
Yeah,
the better version is online. You didn't even get to see the full version. That was like a scaled down version.
Yeah,
the actual full version is epic. So I'm like, well, you guys owned this. Why didn't you just play the whole damn thing? That was very confusing.
Yeah.
Lost Toby says, oh, also fire Shanahan. We'll get to that. Baker's Cocky Hen says Brock Purdy headed back to his old role as leader of the Gilbert Goons. That's not true. That is not true. I hope it's not true. I don't think it's true. He'll be fine, by the way. Heavy Metal Maniac is now sending. He says, here's a screenshot of me having picked the exact score of the Super Bowl, what team, and da-da-da. Let me go. Okay. That's not a screenshot. I see where this mistake is. If you go and look at your pick right now, it shows your pick, and then it shows where it says locked. That was the actual score. It always shows that. That wasn't you picking it. That was them reporting it. It doesn't. Oh, I give up. Big George says 20 years have gone by since the Janet Jackson nipple thing. Nipplegate. You know where her nipple is now? I'm going to say about a kneecap. I think that's about where. Let's see. Just another face in the crowd says best commercial, the quick hit to remember. What? Oh, Carl Weathers. Yes, where they said in memory of Carl Weathers. What a shame he missed that kick, though. He missed that kick, so they had to use the version where Carl Weathers says, "Oh, I guess I was wrong about you, Gronk." That's the last thing that Gronk gets to remember Carl Weathers by is his disappointment.
And for how bad the kick was, could they make it look any less believable? It looked like a video game. What was I saw it and I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, and then it had like a little tea holder thing. Somebody should have been holding that for him. Chief Skull says Usher was boring. I'd rather see Randy White perform in Hot Stovin' and Chocolate Rain. I don't know if it was boring. It just, like I said, when he just does at first, you're like, oh, look at this guy, he's got moves. And then it's like, oh, there are those same moves again. Oh, and he's still doing the same moves. Oh, and there he is sexually assaulting Alicia Keys. Isn't she married? Why is he doing that to her? And I was like,
it's his move. And
yeah, just get your hands off my woman. If I were Alicia Keys' husband, I'd be like, you're not performing with him anymore. And we're gonna have the DNA checked on our kids now because what the hell was that?
Wow.
Harry Soap says, come to think of it, after the halftime show, did the sale of roller skates go up? Plus the BMW commercial with Christopher Walken. That was pretty good. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was all right. He says, come to think of it, doesn't matter who's doing the game. Oh, that was last time. I see what happened there. Sun Devil Raul says, Randy said roller skating is coming back. I'm more into inline skating myself. By the way, you know what's the hardest thing about rollerblading? Coming out of the closet. Okay, well, yeah, because rollerblading. Did you just come out of the closet?
Because
this is a safe place.
I'm deeply confused by that text, but okay.
Inline skating and rollerblading. You know that's the same thing, right? Okay. Beer Bob says it seemed like a very Las Vegas show for Usher last night. I wonder if it's just his residency show, just booked at a larger scale. I thought it was okay. However, the wife, she loved it. Oh yeah. I'm sure everybody's wives were like,
right around the end of Let It Burn. Would you say she was the biggest fan of that, or?
Average Joe thought the Michael Sarah V commercial was awesome. It was okay.
I don't think I saw that one actually.
Yeah, it was okay.
That was pretty good.
Some of these did not get priority over the beers in my fridge, so I missed a few.
It was pretty funny.
Hurry Harry says, I did say shut up, Tony, about 12 times. I did it once out loud. I did too. And
are we thinking of the same moment?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there were more than a few where I could see it coming, like especially on the touchdown. Jim Nance, jackpot, Kansas City. And it's like, all right, well done, Jim Nance. And then all of a sudden, Tony Romo, just why do you got to be talking right now?
My favorite Tony Romo moment from last night was the Chiefs are driving and they're inside of the 10. And Tony Romo says, the Niners need to defend the last 10 yards of this field with their life. You think, Tony? You think that's like the primary thing that they're trying to do right now? Are you sure? Because what else are they supposed to do with the last 10 yards? If they don't defend it, they lose. Obviously. What are we doing, man?
By the way, Sun Devil Raul is angry at me. He's like, why did you skip my just kidding? Oh, he did say just kidding at the end of that. And he says, I don't want Keon to hit on me. Well, Keon's not going to hit on me.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I might. Chief Skull says it's only acceptable to rollerblade if you carry a hockey stick while you're doing it. Anything else is just weird. Well, that's a good way to help rehab a knee injury. A lot of hockey players will do that. Average Joe says, if I win the DoorDash contest, I'm sharing with the fourth dimension. Yeah, there's got to be a lot of stuff in that. And then I saw the commercial for the code, and it goes forever. But somebody sat there and typed while somebody read it to them, and they slowed down the video, and then they paused it, and they did. Somebody typed all of that in and is going to win that thing. Somebody. George says, let's all just agree that the Super Bowl commercials, overall, they're pretty bad. Yeah, I agree. It's not like it used to be. And I've already told you why. It's just not like it used to be. It's sad. Hey, when we come back, I've got the winner of the Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em contest, first, second, third place, and also more nonsense to talk about because Keon said he wanted to talk about the nonsense before we talk about the game and before we talk about the non-Super Bowl stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NBA, the Phoenix Suns are back home in Arizona on Tuesday night as they take on the Sacramento Kings. The Suns coming off a 113-112 loss to Golden State Saturday. Steph Curry hitting a three-pointer at the buzzer, winning it for the Warriors. That snapped Phoenix's three-game win streak. Tonight, one of the premier matchups, Denver in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. And Nuggets, a 1.5-point road favorite, minus 118 on the money line. Milwaukee plus 100 with an over-under of 231. Also tonight, the Clippers hosting Minnesota in a battle of Western Conference powers as the Clippers are a 4.5-point favorite. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, Ralph, got another solar question for you.
Okay, but did you check out the Harmon Solar Podcast first?
The what?
The Harmon Solar Podcast. We put new episodes up twice a month that teach you all the things you ever wanted to learn about solar. We discuss things like how solar works, the roofing, sales process, demand management, everything solar.
Show like this needs some real smart thinkers, huh?
Well, yeah.
So you got some really great guests then, huh?
Almost every show.
Is it on Spotify?
Yep.
iTunes?
Yep. Just search it everywhere. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast. Go check it out at harmonsolar.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Terry Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Shooter McGavin says Matt Damon saying it's hard to be Ben Affleck's friend right now was kind of funny. Yeah, that wasn't a bad spot. And with Tom Brady and the J-Lo, that wasn't bad. What the hell is that? My wife just walked in. You didn't get enough of Usher, huh? Now she's got a box with it says ab roller on it. It's got a guy's abs on it. You're not trying to make me use that, are you? Okay. What are you doing? Okay. Well, for some reason now there's an ab roller in the house. I got an ab. It's fine. Sun Devil Raul says the best commercial, yes, was J-Lo, Ben Affleck, Dunkin' Donuts, the full cast. Yeah, it was pretty good. That was pretty good. But even then, I was like, yeah, okay. It's like a Jimmy Kimmel skit or something. Rico Suave says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Rico Suave.
Buenos dias.
Ralph from Harmon Solar says, since I correctly predicted a tie, I now need Keon to acknowledge my greatness. No, because I said the game can't end in a tie. Yeah, but see, Vinovich got you, though. Vinovich got you because right there at the coin toss for overtime, what did he say? We're going to start a new game. So technically, Ralph kind of has you on that. Not because he's right, because Vinovich is a bonehead. Well, no. Vinovich, the referee. It's a metaphor. What? He didn't mean literally we are starting a brand new game. Otherwise, why bring in the 19 to 19? Why not just start at 0? He said it out loud with his mouth. Correct. And context why you'll never convince Ralph otherwise. I don't care about convincing Ralph. He's still wrong. What
According to Vinovich, he's right.
He's not more correct because I didn't convince him. He's still wrong. I said before the game on Friday, if it goes into overtime, that's still the same game. I said that with my mouth. Mm-hmm. I'm correct.
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm not saying
Ralph,
you're wrong.
When you asked Ralph to make his pick, Ralph didn't say at the end of regulation, we were talking about who's going to win the game, which includes overtime. Overtime is also the game. No, I'm just saying, but Vinovich kind of threw a wrench into this thing.
Okay, that's
He's
not
an official. He
that's
works for the NFL.
correct.
He's the final word.
But that's
He
not
says
literal.
We're starting a new game, which means the
It's-
other game ended in a tie. I mean, I'm just saying Vinovich blew this.
It's
Not you, but not Ralph. Vinovich.
But it's not literal. Because if the other game actually did end and you are literally starting
Are you
a new
trying
game,
to tell me that an NFL referee is getting something wrong?
no, I'm saying that an NFL referee. Well, I mean, it's happened before, but an NFL referee said something that wasn't literal, which is fine.
You're not going to convince Ralph that.
It's
so.
okay. I don't have to.
Vinovich just ruined it for everybody. Beer Bob says, for them commercials, I hope we don't talk about the commercials for too long. He says, I really like that Dunkin' Donut with the Bennifer there. Tom Brady also liked the nerd candy that they were doing, the Flash Dad song there. Also the Doritos and the Reese's weren't bad. I don't know. If you're talking about it tasted good, I don't remember those ads.
The
didn't see the Reese's ad?
The Doritos one was not bad. With
The Reese's ad, everybody, they
with the
started
two
destroying the
abuelas,
place.
yeah, just absolutely hunting this
Losing their
guy down.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like
I'm
I said,
sorry. I'm not trying to be a downer here. It's not like it used to be.
I think
It's just not.
that's the best compliment I've given to most of these commercials is they're not bad.
Yeah, it's all right. Pinocchio says, was it a simile or a metaphor, Keon?
Well, he didn't use like or as, so a metaphor.
In your face, Pinocchio. He's got an education.
I mean, I learned that in high school in Texas. I sure hope you know the same thing. Please, I'm begging you.
Hey, Big George, kindly blow it out your ass. He just texted in. I think we all know who's going to the Super Bowl next year in New Orleans based on the colors of the logo. We're not. It didn't happen this time. It's not. I don't.
So it's over.
Stop it.
It's over. It's finally over.
Ralph from Harmon Solar says Keon sounds like a boyfriend that gets caught cheating and says it wasn't me. I think Ralph has heard that from a lot of his boyfriends. So
that is a bad simile, Ralph. I don't see in what way that potentially relates to this at all. I was correct, and regardless of what you say, I'll still be correct.
One of the things I learned yesterday that I was really surprised about was that Jesus has a foot fetish. That was weird. And then somebody spent $7 million so that Rex Ryan could get an erection watching the Super Bowl. Why did this? I was a little bit, So two things. Evidently, Jesus is loaded because he had two commercials at $7 million a piece. They were way more produced than the other ones were. The ones that you usually see when you're watching the football. Do you know who makes those commercials? I just found out. You know who makes those commercials?
No.
It's not Jesus.
Well,
it's Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is behind the Jesus commercials.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Who knew? Hey, listen, I got nothing against old Jesus or nothing, and I don't have anything against the people who are doing the thing. I'm just saying, you had a pretty effective campaign until the foot thing. Now it's everybody's just all they could think of is kinky. That's all they were thinking.
Are they doing the Jesus washed his disciples' feet thing?
Yeah.
With that?
Yes.
Yeah. I missed that one. I did not see it.
They had another one, but I already forgot.
I saw the other one.
What was that one there?
That one was like take care of the people you don't notice, and so it was like.
Well, how can I do that if I don't notice them?
Well, I think the first step is to start to notice them. The poor and people who we try to turn away from because it's hard to look at whatever situation.
Oh yeah, geez, that's hard. I ain't doing that.
So yeah, that's that was the second one.
That's why people at the radio station are supposed to not make eye contact with me. I can't. I just can't. I can't deal with the reality of the poor every day. Okay. In fact, why are you looking at me? Stop. Anyway,
I have to.
So it's a nice thing. It's a nice thing they're doing. The foot thing. I don't know if they thought that one through. I don't know. Anyway, hey, how about the streakers? Did anybody ever figure out what they were protesting? I don't even know.
No, I wasn't even under the impression that they were protesting anything.
Yeah. They had stuff written on them, and I saw, like in passing, I saw just a picture of a guy, and it didn't make any sense. So I was wondering the hell they were. There's two people ran out there, and that guy with his shirt off, and then nobody ever saw him. And that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? They don't show the streakers. They don't show the people who do that. And because if you do that, then people keep doing it. So it was only a brief pause in stuff. But should they get a do-over? Like, should the team that's on the field with the offense get a do-over if somebody's doing that during play?
Did it happen during the play?
Yeah.
I didn't think it did.
If it doesn't, I think with one of them, the Chiefs had just finished a play when they caught the streaker, but the person was actually out there prior to that. But they weren't involved they weren't in the way. They were behind them. So to me, no, not really.
I'm so used to Patrick Mahomes whining like a little girl that he's like, I thought he was going to launch into that because he's like doing like one of these things, pointing like, well, we should get to, I was wondering if they should have got a do-over. So that's all. So I guess they're the conspiracy theories were all bunked. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that it didn't happen. Taylor Swift didn't fulfill the prophecy of everybody who's angry. I remember she was supposed to endorse Biden after the Chiefs won. And then, of course, Travis Kelce right then was supposed to propose to her on the 50-yard line or I don't know, something. And neither of those things happened. Neither of those happened.
Like any reasonable person thought it wouldn't.
Well, there was a kiss. They did kiss.
Well, yeah, they're dating.
Well, I'm just saying. Some people talked about that part, but
yeah, and that makes sense. But if you thought that Travis Kelce was going to go up there and propose to Taylor Swift, I don't know how you knew that. And if you thought that Taylor Swift was going to endorse Joe Biden, a thing she's never done. She's never really gotten involved in politics. She doesn't care to. So why would she just start now out of the blue? I don't know. Like, it was neither of those things were ever going to happen.
I love that everybody's scared to death that she's going to say, hey, guys, don't forget to vote. That's what they're really scared of because they think that can turn the election. But I think people are forgetting is that all the little Swifties, they're probably split half and half, just like the rest of the country is. So her saying, don't forget to vote is good for all parties. I don't know why everybody wants to get bent out of shape about that. And then they're like, what if she tells people to vote? Oh my God. How's that a bad thing? So,
don't we want people to take part in civic society? Anyway, I don't know. I will say though with Kelce, the fact that he went up there and started singing "Viva Las Vegas" very badly at the end of the game was the more likely outcome of everything that everybody was trying to conspire. Oh, this is going to happen. When he started singing, I was like, why wasn't there like a bet on that? That seems very Travis Kelce. He sang two songs.
Yeah, that's Kelce family right there. And then Google Trends, this was interesting. They live tweeted a bunch of stats on what Americans were searching for during the game. I don't know why. But during the first half, a lot of people were asking Google, what's the lowest scoring Super Bowl? Because it seemed like we were kind of heading towards that kind of a game.
Defensive battle.
Turned out it was 5 years ago. It was only 16 points scored in the Super Bowl. That was back in 53. Patriots beat the Rams 13-3 that year.
Yeah, the Jared Goff, the when Sean McVay decided officially, I'm done with this guy. I don't think I can win anything with him. Turns out he was wrong, but still.
Of course, searches for Super Bowl overtime rules that spiked 4,200% after regulation. The phrase "nail biter" meme that started trending, then there's the people who had no idea what was going on the entire time, like the curly-haired girl in that suite with
Ice Spice.
Yeah, she looked lost the entire game. That understanding football for dummies was a top trending search during the game. I'm not even kidding. And finally, the best question that was Googled is why do football players have tails? And it turns out a lot of people were mistyping towels. Well, it's because they get sweaty, just like Usher.
Yeah.
Usher could have used a tail or a towel.
I mean, I don't think anybody gets sweaty just like Usher. Usher seems to be in a league of his own in terms of just.
Usher looked like a catcher on the second half of a doubleheader.
Yeah, I mean, like he looked like he was like, playing harder than anybody in the game. Like that's
Patrick Ewing looked at that and went, "Oh my God, he's sweaty." Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Someone put a picture of Usher and Chris Middleton side by side, and it's close.
Yeah, or back in the day, you could have put Usher and Steve Nash side by side.
Yeah.
Same sweaty.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there watching the game, and my wife loves Only Murders in the Building, that TV show with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, look at Selena Gomez. And my wife's like, that's not Selena Gomez. I said, well, that really looks like Selena Gomez. And then we were kind of arguing about that. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the girl from that show. And she's like, no, I don't think so. And, well, who is that? She's like, I don't know. And I said, well, I guess we'll look it up. So I just learned a Bible lesson. If you Google who was in Taylor Swift's box, you get a list of everybody she dated.
No.
Yeah, I got a list of everybody she dated.
Oh, no.
And it's a lot. I think Travis Kelce should have looked at this list, maybe.
Well, I mean,
that's a
my
lot.
age. She's 33.
I'm just saying it's a long, long list of who is in her box, I guess. But
no, I've dated a lot of people. We're the same age. That seems.
Turns out it's Lana Del Rey was the gal. Well, if you care, I don't anymore. But so I was wrong. But
what was that? Her? Okay. Wow.
When I Googled who was in Taylor Swift's box, I got this: Drew Dunlap, Jordan Alford, Drew Hardwick, Sam Armstrong, Joe Jonas, Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Adam Young, Jake Gyllenhaal, Connor Kennedy, Harry Styles, Calvin Harris, Loki, Tom Hiddleston, Joe Alwyn, Matt Healy, Lucas Till, Corey Monteith, Cord Overstreet, Eddie Redmayne, and Zach Efron. That's a hell of a list right there.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a list. But I'm not even kidding you. As you can see, Google. That's what I got.
I think that's nice of Google to frame it that way, I guess.
So, because Keon chose at the beginning of the show that we would talk about the nonsense things first, this has got to be probably the most nonsensical thing that I've seen people talking about and chattering about. One of the recent annual traditions of TV networks airing the Super Bowl is, we're going to get a new graphics package, and everybody's going to love it. Nobody cares. CBS, NBC, Fox, nobody cares about your graphics package. But this year, CBS did that, and they put a new score bug, which is that thing at the bottom that has the score and the team name and how many timeouts and stuff like that. And people lost their minds about it. They're like, I don't like this new font. Everybody was like, I don't understand this font. And the letters are too close to the side. Why are they not more in the middle? Why are they off to the left? People, why do you have so many opinions about stuff that doesn't matter to the game? Hey, if I look down and I can see the score, how many timeouts and how much time is left, that's all I need. I don't care if it's a different. They used Arial. What do you want? Comic Sans? Shut the hell up and watch the game.
It's insane. Yeah, I saw some people going back and forth on it on Twitter. I don't really tweet during games. I try to wait till the game's over because I don't want to see all of that stuff. I try to avoid that. That's just why? Who does this help? The important things are, like you said, the score, the timeouts, the time, the down and distance. What else do you need?
As long as it's clear and I can see it.
The only time I've ever complained about that is one of those things I couldn't tell. It was hard to see, the down and distance because maybe they put, the numbers in the same color as one of the teams or something like that. That's it. That's the most complaining that you can actually manage to do.
Randy worked in television more than we did. And did you notice the new score bug, Randy?
Didn't even faze me. Didn't even notice.
Because you're watching for the game.
Watching the game.
You're watching the game. And if you are a football fan that watches throughout the season, if you jump between CBS to Fox to ESPN to NBC, over the course of a season, you're going to see 4 or 5 different ones.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't register.
I only will notice if it's bad. As long as it's not bad, who gives a damn?
If for some reason I can't see the score, or one year I know that Fox had one where you really couldn't see the timeouts, and so you're like squinting at your TV going, Jesus, how many timeouts do they have?
Yeah.
Like, if it's that's bad. But if I can tell, who cares?
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to finish with the nonsense part of the Super Bowl. Hopefully by 4:00, we can start talking about the actual game, since it's the last game we have left to talk about. And after that, it's just, Daily Blender sports stuff. I got stuff from over the weekend that has nothing to do with the Super Bowl, but we'll get to that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berry-licious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Here's Collins ahead to Miller, and Miller reverses it up and he's fouled. Holy moly! Make sure your Valentine's Day plans include Sun Devil men's basketball. The Sun Devils face Oregon State Wednesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. in the Beavers' final Pac-12 visit to Tempe. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball. Onward to victory.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
In the morning, get out of my bed.
Wake up, Phoenix, to the best new morning sports show on radio. Join me, Tony D.
And me, Ron Culver, every weekday from 6 to 9 a.m. right here on 1580 99.3, The Fanatic.
Today, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Talking about the silliness of Super Bowl 58 before we talk about the game and other assorted things. And well, let's get caught up on the text line real fast. Just another face in the crowd says, oh, damn. He didn't say, oh, damn. I said, oh, damn. The text line is getting glitchy on me here. Oh, I got to log back in. Well, yeah. You guys could jump in anytime you want.
But I don't know
what we're going to talk about. I mean,
we didn't start a subject at all, so I don't know what there was to jump in to say.
There we go. No eye contact with the host. Is that the Steve Harvey clause in your contract? I don't know.
Is that a Steve Harvey thing? I didn't even know about that.
My teeth aren't even that big. Pinocchio says, that big. If Jesus liked people as he washed their feet, would that be a simile, Keon? If Jesus liked people as he washed their feet, would that be a simile?
No, because it's not comparing anything.
Yeah, I don't believe so. Navy Brad says, who would really want to endorse the Cocoa Bird in Washington?
What's he talking about? The Cocoa Bird? What is he talking about?
I don't know what are you.
What does that mean?
What are
No
you
idea what he's
talking about, man?
Chief Skull says, Jeffrey, you're just lucky a porn site didn't come up when you asked who's been in Taylor Swift's box. I know. I was worried about that myself. It was
Bullet
too late.
dodged.
It's a good thing my wife saw me type it in, because if anything had popped up and, make sure she sees that. Donnie says CBS had that new camera angle, which was pretty sweet. What is he talking about? What new camera angle? You talking about the one on the uprights where it was just in? They really were just begging to use that, so they just did it on a made field goal.
Yeah,
nothing got doink. Oh, there was one
times.
doink.
Yeah,
there was one doink, and that was the one on the kickoff.
Yeah,
where it hit the uprights.
Which normally they wouldn't replay that ever, except they wanted to use the camera.
Yeah, they paid a lot for that camera. Kenry says, sounds like Taylor Swift had a sausage party. No, she was in the suite. I don't know. Maybe they probably had brats, maybe some hot dogs and hamburgers. I don't know. Yeah. Kiss the Cook says, I respectfully request to change my moniker to Graphic Package until after Valentine's Day. Rejected. Big George says, I didn't even notice the score bug thing had changed. Yeah, because you're watching the game. You're trying to watch the game. Hamilton Porter says, how bad does the coaching staff? Whoa. You're talking about the game. We're trying to talk about the silliness first. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to save your text for when we're talking about the game. Navy Brad says, Coco Bird, crazy guy, mindless old guy in the White House there.
What about him? What?
See, we're not talking about that, Navy Brad. We're talking about silly things of the Super Bowl. But
what you mean, Coco Bird?
I did.
Not Coco.
Well, he said Coco.
Maybe
cuckoo is spelled with more O's than that, Navy Brad.
And no A's that I'm aware of, but I do think maybe your phone could also autocorrect you into it. So
yeah.
Yeah,
and I got a spoiler alert. There's nobody good to vote for anymore. Nobody. Neither side. We're doomed. It's just over. We just haven't figured it out yet.
Well, there was one. Did you see the one presidential commercial?
the Kennedy,
the
for the Kennedy as an independent. Did you see that?
I don't think that helped that fella. I don't think.
But I mean,
it was basically they took an old John F. Kennedy ad or Robert Kennedy ad, and they took out the original guy and they put in this guy, and then you're watching and nobody gets it. Nobody gets it, but the older people. All the younger people are like, "Wow, this guy's commercial is horrible. This is the worst commercial I think I've ever seen for a candidate."
To me, it was eye catching. So
well, yeah, because we're older and we remember when they used to have Barry Goldwater commercials like that, or Kennedy commercials like that, or Nixon commercials, or whatever. But now, if you're watching it now and you don't get the historical connection to Daddy Kennedy, a lot of you just like, what the hell was that? That was just weird. It was just weird. It was
I think
not helpful.
If you don't get the context, it's not going to help you as much.
Hamilton Porter says, how can Usher change that quick and get on roller skates? Well, you know how they got the slip-on Skechers? They probably were just slip-on roller skates, and clearly he can take his clothes off pretty damn quick. So getting them back on with some help of people is probably easy.
Yeah.
Big George, yes. We'll talk about. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about something else. This is the kind of thing that any of us would probably step into. Just not knowing. JJ Watt has played football, and he's had a pretty active social media sort of experience, right? And so he shows up on Super Bowl Sunday with a new hairstyle, and this is a messy sort of thing.
Yeah,
well, I saw him there, and I was just looking at him like, all right, didn't care. My wife made a comment. She's like, "Ooh," she's like, That's not a very good look for him. I'm like, what are you talking about? He always looks like that. She's like, no, his hair is not always like that.
It's not always like that.
I'm like, it's not? I don't know. Who cares? It's JJ Watt. He's awesome. Who cares what his hair looks like? I'm on the same page as JJ Watt, because then JJ Watt tweets out, you ever switch up your hair and wonder if anyone will notice? He's like, they notice. He got torn up.
There are more eyeballs on you that day than there will ever be at any other point in the year. And honestly, I didn't think it was a bad look. It was just very different. Like, I did notice right away, like, oh, JJ changed his hair, man.
I didn't even notice, I'll be honest with you.
his hair was just kind of messy, and I did notice
and
that
the
it's like, oh,
blonde.
that's a different look for him, and I was just like, who cares?
JJ's hair is not that blonde.
No.
It just immediately popped out to be like, oh, okay.
Well, it's because all the gel in there made it look darker.
Yeah, but
That's all.
for me, it wasn't something to tweet about. It wasn't worth mentioning.
Just just a younger kind of a style, like a frat boy look, a little something. I don't know. I didn't care, but evidently everyone on the internet lost their damn mind. Oh, by the way, there was a bummer. I did pick the Chiefs to win, and so at least I got my pick right. But I was sad about one part of it. The one part was Drake winning $1 million. Drake bet $1 million on Kansas City to win. So usually that's a curse for that team. In this case,
well, the thing is, it's just not even Drake can stop the Chiefs, apparently.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way,
good your team is.
Everybody practice safe sex. There is a new highly resistant strain of chlamydia, herpes, and otherwise on its way. Not engineered in a lab, but Kim Kardashian and Odell Beckham Jr. were seen hanging out during the Super Bowl, and I guess she was there in a suite. So, yeah, it's going to be scary out there now.
Oh, my God.
You put them two uglies together and, drug resistant is the first two words that came to mind when I was told they're hanging out. So, yeah, they said the Kim Kardashian suite at the Super Bowl was not as much fun as the Taylor Swift one. And I said, well, I tell you why. Taylor Swift is there to watch the game and enjoy the game and support her boyfriend. Everybody there is there to support Taylor supporting her boyfriend. So they're all into the action. They actually care about the game. Kim Kardashian was there to be seen. That's the only reason she'd have been there. You know what I mean? She's not there for the game. She's not there to support a team. She's LA. Maybe the 49ers, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think she was there for the right reason. That's why that suite was boring.
Yeah, well, because imagine so Ice Spice was in the Taylor suite and she looked lost,
totally
as just lost could be. Imagine if
I
everybody in the suite was like, definitely not.
No, because I did the hair. I thought maybe she was like, I thought she was from the cast of Annie, and then it turns out that's just her look. I guess
that's just her look. But the still image of everybody freaking out when the Chiefs score that last touchdown, and she's just looking serious because she's just trying to not look like someone who doesn't know what the hell just happened. I laughed a lot looking at that. That did make me chuckle.
So that's all I got for the silliness part. That's all I've got. I mean, after we come back from the top of the hour, we're going to talk about the actual game and actual football things. But there was one other thing. I don't know if you guys tuned away. I don't know if you checked this out, the Puppy Bowl. The Puppy Bowl was on, and they said that Team Rough upset Team Fluff.
How do you know who's the favorite? Who?
I saw a picture, and there's just a bunch of damn toys scattered across this fake field. It's just all it was is just a bunch of puppies. I love puppies.
If you like puppies and you just wanted to watch puppies, but to add the element of there's an upset going on, how could you tell? How would you even know
the upset? I didn't tell you the upset. That was the headline. I skipped that part because I just said Team Rough beat Team Fluff. The fact you know it's an upset.
I thought you said upset. I don't know.
Did I say that?
I thought you said upset. That's why.
Oh, well, it was. They said it was an upset. I guess 72-69.
That's why I'm like, how can they know?
I don't know who's upset. Good.
You don't watch the Puppy Bowl for the score. Who cares who wins?
Yeah.
You're just watching a bunch of puppies play. That's
like
the best part.
Lingerie Bowl.
They try to make it, and then you've got Steve Levy calling the action on the Puppy Bowl.
Oh, I will never watch the Puppy Bowl now.
Levy is calling the action on the Puppy Bowl.
Wow, good career move, Steve. CK says, Randy, peer me. He says, what's with Ice Spice there? Throwing up the devil horns and upside down crucifix and stuff.
What?
What are you talking about? Is that something she did? I don't know. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either. What are you talking about?
Wilbur says, speaking of streakers, How do you tell a blind guy at a nudist colony? He says, not that hard. Oh. Hamilton Porter says, by the end of the game, I thought Jim Nance was going to reach over and strangle Tony Romo. By the end of the game, we were all hoping he would.
Did you hear them signing off, though, at the end of the game there?
I love you.
I love you, Jim.
I love you. I thought they were going to make out. I'm just like, my wife is like, well, she's like, play-by-plays can't do that very often. I've never heard that. Like, no, me either. No.
No, it's what you do when you try to convince your bosses to not fire your play-by-play partner.
Chief Skull says J.J. Watt looked like a troll doll. You are correct.
Wow.
You are correct.
I didn't think it was that exaggerated, but all right.
Hey, Jeffrey, look up how many were in Kim Kardashian's box. I'm not doing that. I'm not looking that up. Not doing that.
It would break the internet.
Not enough printer paper.
Quiet Cannon says, sorry for the late silly text. What was the color of the Gatorade? Was the Gatorade purple? It was purple. Turned out it was purple. So, all right, we got to take a break. And we come back in hour 2. Let's talk about the actual game and stuff. It's Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
It's now even easier to serve on an Arizona jury. If your company doesn't pay for jury service, the court will reimburse your lost wages up to $300 if picked to serve in Superior Court. So next time you see a jury summons in the mail, don't ignore it, or you could face a $500 fine. Remember, our courts are fair because you are there. Learn more at azcourts.gov/jury service. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Supreme Court.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 368-1580 as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Now is a good time to announce the winner of the Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em contest. And yes, it was an interesting season. It was a tough season to make picks. And boy, the top of the rung there changed over and over and over again. Boy, we all had one week where I don't think we had more than 4 or 5 correct. And it just was a crazy, crazy season. Finally settles down towards the end. Usually does. It's easier to pick once you get into the playoffs, but even the playoffs had some surprises. So congratulations to the winner of this year's NFL Fan Pick'em contest. The winner is me.
No.
I did it again. I won again.
No.
I did. I won again. I don't get the prize.
I did not the winner. No.
I did. No. It's right there on the thing.
You're not the winner.
You know why? Because I tied with Choro, 191. We both got 191 right. But if you'll look there, right there in the wins column, I won the week twice. He won the week 0 times, and that's the tiebreaker that gives me the win. I'm shocked I was able to crawl my way back up after some of the weeks. But here's the nice thing. When we had that week where we all got a bunch wrong, so did everybody else. So it helped the overall standings in the end. Why are you in denial of my 3rd dominant NFL Fan Pick'em win?
Well, you can't win. I mean, according to the rules, you cannot win. You can't be the winner.
He can't win the prize, but he can win the contest.
I technically won the damn thing again. Third time that I don't get the $1,580, but Choro does. So congratulations to Choro. With 191 correct. There's no conflicts. There's no issues. There was no tiebreaker. He had 191. Germ is good in second place for the $500 with 190. So there you go. And Fighting Wampa had 188 correct, and he'll get 3rd place. I don't know what 3rd place gets. I know that there was supposed to be something, but our crack sales staff never told me what 3rd place is. So I got to assume it's another 30 pack of beer. So there you go. $1,580 for Choro for 1st place. Germ is good, has 190. So he gets 2nd place for $500, and Fighting Wampa, we'll see.
I demand a recount.
What do you mean a recount of what?
Because you and I were so close.
Randy, you were not anywhere near me.
That's why I demand a recount.
Or really anyone else, to be honest.
I feel like some of the games that I got right were put in the poll wrong, or the machine wrong, or whatever.
You would be the one who put them in the machine.
What?
Yeah, Randy.
I don't put them in the machine.
Who puts them in the machine for you?
I think the computer is out to get me.
The computer is out to get you.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're just gonna have to take that up with your computer. I think that's
no, it's not my computer. My computer does what I ask it to do. It's the main computer that tabulates everything, and I demand a recount.
Did you ask your computer to pick the games for you?
Keon, do you see what I'm saying? I demand a recount. I think you and I were cheated here.
I don't believe I was cheated.
Something fuzzy is going on.
I will give you the username and password for the administrator part of the site, and you can go take a look.
Something wonky is happening here, Keon. You and I got left out. Somehow Jeffrey wins all the time. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
We do our picks on air. I tell you what I'm picking.
I didn't have one horrendous week. I had 2. And that second week, everybody else was fine. I was just the only person who had
somebody keeps changing my
disaster
picks. That's what I
pick,
think's going on.
So I'm responsible for the fact that I didn't have as many as I could have had.
Don't look at it as you being really bad at picking, Randy. Look at it as me being really good at it.
See what I mean? See, Keon, did you hear that?
But he is good at it. Look, if you win the damn thing 3 years in a row, man, like that.
What do you mean?
I don't know if it's in a row. I don't know if it was in a row. I think I got second place. I'd have to go back and look. Okay. I'm not sure, honestly. It all runs together for me.
It seems like you have won it every year I've been here, so I don't know.
Well, I know of us, I have.
Yeah,
but I don't think I've properly won it every year station wide.
I don't know. You're consistently near the top. I just think that's good enough evidence that you're good at it.
I just have a knack. And if I put money on it, I'll be the worst picker ever. Because that's the thing. My wife keeps saying, why don't you put money on it?
Because it changes things. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It changes things.
All right, Randy, go get your recount. Go ahead. I'll send you the stuff. Just do your own counting. But I think you're going to, how would you even do a recount to remember what you know what I'm saying?
I know what I did.
What did
my
you do?
My brain is like a steel trap.
I
think some of my things have been moved.
By who?
Changed. I don't know. No accusations here. I'm just saying.
Sounds like accusations.
Think it's awfully funny how you always end up towards the top. And Keon and I are nowhere near you.
All I can do is my picks. That's all I can do. That's all I can do.
All right.
Donnie says, Keon, you seem more culturally in tune than the rest of us. Who the hell is Ice Spice?
She's a rapper. She's really young, and I don't know. She seems pretty talented. She doesn't make music for me in particular, so I don't listen to her really. But I have seen her pop up in a few other people's songs and stuff. That
I think she was there because she did a song with Taylor Swift or something.
I could believe that.
That's what I'm guessing. I don't know.
But yeah.
Just another face in the crowd says, hey, did I hear something about a golf tournament this weekend? Oh, yeah. Well, that's in my pile of regular sports stuff. So we can talk about regular sports stuff now, or we can talk about the actual game from yesterday. So what do you guys want to do this hour? Last hour, we talked about the silly, non-important stuff from the Super Bowl. Now you got the actual game or just all the other sports stuff.
I don't know, Keon. What would you like to talk about this hour?
No, am I making the decision for all of
them? I think you should.
I think I should. All right. Yeah, let's talk about the game. The actual game.
Fair enough. That's what we will do. Did anybody watch it? Who won?
The commercials really distracted me from noticing. I couldn't tell.
I got really drunk. I have no idea. Who is in this thing? I don't even. Hey, by the way, I did get what I was hoping for. My wife did give me what I was hoping for. I said, remember I told you, I says, all I want are some nachos and I want some shrimp. And I got my wish. Plus, I grilled some hamburgers earlier on. But let me just tell you, I got two kinds of shrimp. I got shrimp cocktail, which I ate all of it. And then I was like looking around, going, is there more shrimp? She's like, I knew you'd do that. So then there was popcorn shrimp.
Nice.
That she put in the air fryer there. And oh my God, I ate that till I was full. So yes, I had my shrimp dream come true and I had some nachos. So that was good. Did you guys have good food yesterday?
I did.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Keon. Sorry.
Oh, no. I mean, I had nothing special. I got a bunch of Chinese food.
Oh,
makes me happy.
Prime rib sliders on the smoker.
Nice.
And then Miss Kim, who's a shrimpaholic, made some shrimp for her. And then we had I grilled up some peppers, and we had sliders and all that good stuff.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Big George says, wait, I thought the tiebreaker was in the final score. No, I'm not talking about from the game. The final score, basically, it's the combined score total. That was a tiebreaker like for just the week. But for in the actual contest, the fact that I had won 2 weeks was the tiebreaker on the actual year-long contest thing, George. Beer Nut says, I never received my jersey. Oh, man, you got to be patient. It's going to take a minute. I go through this every year, and hang in there.
It will happen, but they move at whatever pace they're going to move at. So
yeah, it gets ordered right away. Then it's just China. Lacrosse guy says, Jeffrey, you're pretty amazing. Congratulations. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Now, only if I got the money too. Bite My Kebab says, I believe there was more than one hanging Chad in this suspicious football pick account.
See what I mean?
See
what I mean?
Just because I win, everybody starts to call that collusion or cheating or whatever.
It's digital. You can't have a hanging Chad in a purely digital thing. And everybody makes the picks. You can go back on the website and see how many total picks everybody has and all of that stuff. It couldn't be more transparent. I don't know, man.
Boss Toby says, I'm with Randy. I got hacked. Okay, I don't mind you saying you got hacked, but I don't appreciate people saying I'm a cheater. Especially, why would I? I don't.
He can't win the money.
I don't want this.
Nothing could feel worse than winning the damn thing and then somehow not getting $1,500.
Never implied that you're a cheater. Not at all. I've known you for a long time. I'm just saying there's something wonky going on here.
Well, that's kind of implying something.
No.
It's implying
It's
something.
implying that there's something wonky going on here because I don't think all my picks were counted correctly.
Yeah, okay. I had nothing to do with that. Silly Wabbit says Jeffrey is the lone expert for football pick'em, just like the Blender is the best local radio show on the Fanatic. Because I'll just thank you, Silly Rabbit. That's funny. Chief Skull says, I'm ready to say it. Rigged. I can't rig it. I can't rig it.
It's not. You can't. I don't.
Last Optimus says, wait, Ice Spice isn't a Spice Girl?
No.
He says, tagged you guys on Twitter if you want to see the video. Video of what? Why don't you tell me what the video is before I look at it? Oily Stool says, that's nice, Jeffrey. I usually beg my wife for sex and I don't get it. So I'm glad at least you had your shrimp and those dreams came true. No, listen, man. You get the wins where you get the wins. That's all I can say.
I don't know that I would have told the world that, but you do you, man.
Oh, he can tell the world that. Do you know Oily Stool?
I suppose not.
Have you met Oily Stool?
I don't know.
He is anonymous. You realize for all of the texters on here, unless we have met you at a remote, nobody knows who you are. Even if we've met you in person, nobody listening knows who you are. So you have that anonymity to.
That's fair.
To share things that you probably should keep to yourself and tell nobody.
But you go for it. Either way.
Yeah, it says, hello. I watched your football American Super Bowl yesterday in France. It was pretty boring. Not so many points. I went to bed after the first half. Who won the game? Your mom. Chiefs won, Pierre. It wasn't boring. That's the thing about the game. It wasn't boring. It was a lot of really amazing defense, which if you like offense, that'll bore you out a little bit. I got to say that neither offense played particularly well. They took their chances and got what they needed to get when they needed to get it to get the score to where it ended up being. But yeah, you didn't see a bad game. You just saw a good game for defense. That's what you saw. And yeah, all right, it's not everybody's cup of tea. We usually like to see people slinging it and people catching the balls that are thrown to them. Looking at you, Deebo Samuel. Stuff like that. Did you know Deebo Samuel had initial? I was surprised. I know he had a little injury. He had 11 targets. You know how many catches he got? 3.
Yeah, but
I couldn't believe that when I saw that. 8 times he dropped that ball. 8 times, Deebo Samuel. So don't give Brock Purdy no crap. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say that the drops, I think you have to go back and look at those in context too, because it wasn't like he was running wide open free and dropped all 8 of them.
No, but usually he's going to do the 50-50, and he just wasn't. He wasn't on his game. You have to. I mean, yes, some of it could have been the hamstring issue, but man, this is Super Bowl. And that's why you saw these guys getting tired in overtime. My wife was suck it up, Buttercup.
And the thing is, he re-aggravated the hamstring and he ran his ass back out there. But he's not 100%. But you're just not. And part of the thing with Deebo is for how big he is, he's still insanely fast. But
if you are running and you're running, he's right there with the other guy. Although I will give him credit. There was a time where the ball was coming his way and it was not quite exactly where it could have been. Because he wasn't running faster because of the hamstring, that he knocked down what could have been an interception.
And I agree with Romo on the broadcast. He was like, I understand you want to get the ball in the hands of your best player in Deebo Samuel, but you are throwing at their best corner, L'Jarius Sneed, and it just was not happening. And for most people all year throwing against L'Jarius Sneed, it was not happening. It's just that's a tough matchup to throw to.
Hey, let's see. Chief Skull says Ice Spice sounds like a new form of meth. It was like something they did. They fought over in Dune. Just another face of the crowd says there's a guy who had a job in DC who didn't believe the results. Oh yeah, don't start that. Ray says, "Hey guys, it's Ray here. Missed some of your recent shows. What have I missed? Did Randy ever get his snow bus off the ground?" Well, no, because it's just a concept. It's an idea that
Still
he has.
kind of it's a work in progress.
Thing is, it was an idea. I don't know if there's any actual work progress.
I got the paper out. I started drawing up a concept on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of a loose concept, still sort of a working idea.
Did Miss Kim put it on the fridge?
No.
Yeah, you got to work harder on it then.
Yeah.
It's got to be real good to get on the fridge.
Miss Kim said it didn't look like a bus, looked like a tree.
Yeah, see, that's
got back to the drawing board.
It's hard to get proof of concept with that.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbur says, yes, fourth dimension. Listen to Keon, the voice of reason. I don't know what he was being reasonable about, but
thanks.
Okay. Lost Toby says Shanahan and I will both be poor Lost Toby. Think he will. All right, the hell with it. I'll read the rest of that later. All right, let's talk about the game. So the actual game itself. What were other than the defenses just basically shutting down two powerful offenses on both sides? What was your first thoughts about this? If you had to explain this game like in a couple of sentences, what would it be, Keon?
I really thought that the quarterbacks came in clutch. Like that was something that I noticed a lot, like in the biggest moments, because I just think that neither team wanted to take a risk and screw up too much against the other defense. But when they absolutely had to, I thought we saw the best of Patrick Mahomes, and I thought we saw the best of Brock Purdy. I thought the Purdy looked really good, and there were some things that I think he would probably do differently if he had some more experience. But that comes with time, and he's still a really young player, and I just like the way that both of those guys, stepped up to bat when their teams really needed them to make plays.
Yeah, the thing about Brock Purdy is there's just a couple of times where, and unfortunately they were big moments, but there was only a couple of times where he was just sort of off. Yeah, where he threw a ball and it was just like, okay, that was never going anywhere. But he was under pressure all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, that one throw into the end zone, which went to really nobody because there was no chance for it. But it was one of the, what are you doing? The rest
Trying
of the
not
game.
to take a sack.
Yeah.
Because that was when Spagnuolo was
right.
That whole drive. You were like, he's got to bring some extra pressure sometime. And then at the exact worst moment, because Juwan Jennings wins the right away, but there's pressure in his face and he doesn't get a chance to set his feet. So he just has to, don't take the sack and make it worse.
I think Patrick Mahomes had far worse, like, what the hell was that moments than Brock Purdy did. That thing where he just kind of throws the ball and got intentional grounding, but he threw it with both arms. Like, what are you doing, man? But no, Brock
Which
Purdy,
I understand that.
Brock Purdy was solid. He wasn't amazing, but he was solid in those moments. He didn't seem like the moment was too big for him. He just, there was just a couple of times he kind of fell flat, but in general, I think he did a fine job. He didn't embarrass himself. He didn't let the 49ers down. I feel like the coaching of the 49ers might have been more at issue, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But as far as the quarterback of Brock Purdy, I feel like he's got every right to be the starter of this team next year. So, I don't have any real big complaints about Brock Purdy. Was there anything huge that he did wrong?
Anything big? No, it was kind of little things, and it was little things that I don't know that I could expect a player that's in year 2 to really know. That just he had a lot of times where if you get down to the check down really quickly, you're giving McCaffrey a whole lot more room to work with. And I think it took him a little bit to kind of work his way back because he was looking to try and make bigger plays down the field.
course, if I'm Juwan Jennings, I'm wearing a shirt to camp next year that has the simple numbers 158.3 right across the front. Because that's my quarterback rating. Because Juwan Jennings throwing that ball to Chris McCaffrey earned him a quarterback rating for a touchdown. And so that's what you get, 158.3. And Brock Purdy had 89.3. And Patrick Mahomes had 99.3. So Juwan Jennings had the highest quarterback rating in that Super Bowl of any quarterback. So,
and man, that pass, when he threw it, I was sitting there like, man, that thing's got to get intercepted. It's just hanging up there.
And the two defenders that were over there working on, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Kittle. Kittle was over there working a guy, and McCaffrey got the ball. I thought, well, he's going to get slaughtered. And however it was, that it was perfect timing and perfect moment. He was able to get by and run that thing in. That was a pretty play, but that could have gone very tragically as well. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, like I said, we're talking about the actual game now. We'll get to your text too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream. But it's a river, a whitewater river. And the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online. So your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
We've been friends for over 30 years. And
Wait. It's been over 30 years?
Yep, you are that old.
Well, at least you have one friend.
Anyway, we have a show called The Weekend Warriors, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
We'll discuss national and local sports, and we'll talk about some sports that you don't hear about much.
We'll also interview local athletes, coaches, and sports-related business owners to share their stories with you.
We look forward to sharing these great stories and hanging out with you.
It's The Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we're talking about the actual Super Bowl. That's right. We've talked about the nonsense. Now we're talking about the game. And Against the Spread says, good day, gentlemen, and fourth dimension. I hope you guys played my Super Bowl Kansas City pick and prospered. My playoff record this year, ATS was 5-1 on the picks. I gave out hope. And he says, I'm sorry, I hope you played them. I'm going into gambling hibernation until the NCAA tournament, though, because I have to watch college games and do my homework before the tournament. I'll text in from time to time until then. Much love, gentlemen, and thanks for the opportunity to help make people money. Thank you for helping people make the money Against the Spread. That's awfully cool and kind of you to share your knowledge and wisdom. And he's absolutely right. If you'd played what he said at the Kansas City at +2, you got money.
I did.
Oh, you did it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, nicely done. So, yes, Against the Spread. You know, you can always just talk to us about the silly things, too. Kiss the Cook says 70 White Castles and Barks Cream Soda for the Super Bowl. Jesus. You ate 70? No.
Is your
That's
bathroom just, Chernobyl? Because what happens
70?
after 70 White Castles can't be good.
70 for the party, not just you.
I sure hope. Because your intestines have to be wrecked afterwards. There's no way.
Well, you can eat 6 of them. It'd be like, equivalent of one hamburger.
Yeah.
6 of those White Castles would be like one hamburger.
Minus anything that resembles meat. Big George says, I'm disappointed the aliens never showed up. I put a lot of money in that prop bet. Oh, yeah. I guess I don't have to give anybody a car now since that didn't happen. Quiet Cannon says, Randy, I almost forgot. There's a company, venture capitalist company, might be interested in seeing a prototype of your snow bus concept. Blue Sky Incorporated, better known as Pie in the Sky Inc. How much money do you need for this snow bus?
I'm not there yet. I'm still kind of I'm designing the concept. I have it in my mind. I'm still working it out on paper. It's still, like I said, it's still an idea, concept kind of in motion. It's very fluid right now.
If you can bring this project in for under $100, I'm in.
It's probably going to be a bit more than that. Suffice it to say, it's going to be probably in the thousands.
Yeah, I don't know. Chief Skull says Brock didn't look pretty. Listen, nobody looked pretty because these defenses were just killing it. I mean, seriously, punching balls out. Christian McCaffrey didn't just fumble the ball without help when he did in the very first part of the game. Somebody punched that thing out, peeled that out. I mean, that's just the way both these defenses were just aggressive and crazy. And they were exhausted by the overtime as well. I mean, I think that's the thing. San Francisco's defense was just so gassed by the time Patrick Mahomes and company were just marching that thing down the field that there just was no stopping it. So CK says turning point of the game. Oh, you know what? That's a weird turning point, but I felt the same way. It was when Greenlaw tore his Achilles. And then after that, Andy Reid targeted his side of the field where his replacement was, Burks. Yeah, that's it. That was just hard to watch, man. He was excited, getting ready to go, and he's kind of being warmed up. And then there was like a stutter, like, oh, wait, we're not supposed to go out. So he kind of was like a little bit of a stutter step, jump back. And then when it was time to go, he launches forward and just goes just down on the ground with a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
Freak accident. That was hard to watch.
The worst timing of it. Like, as bad as it is for the Chiefs that they lost, a Menahu the game before, they at least had 2 weeks to plan without him. You go into the Super Bowl thinking you've got Greenlaw, and then he goes down in the middle of the game. There's nothing you can do to hide his replacement, and Andy Reid and the Chiefs knew that. And boy, I mean, it was cruel, obviously, but it was also the right football thing to do. They just kept going right back to that guy. Yeah, it was hard to watch.
You don't want anybody to have that kind of an injury, but once it happens, you're an idiot if you don't exploit it, and that's what you do. Wilbur says, okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it once, and this is going to make some people maybe realize that maybe I'm a few cards short of a full deck, but Randy will side with me. Next year's Super Bowl will feature Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and his Kansas City Chiefs versus my Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals will pull off the biggest upset in Super Bowl history.
Well, I mean, you got to play the games. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, it's a new year next year. Who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, it's a new Chinese New Year. That's why I'm wearing my red shirt today.
Oh, is that
my wife said that for the new Chinese New Year, you wear red, and it's supposed to be good luck. So I'm wearing red.
I've got Sedona red on my cap here.
Yeah, that's good luck. And Keon's got red in the print on his cap there. So we're all
Coca-Cola logo. Yeah.
Various degrees of good luck right now. Muahahaha says, I thought Chris Jones should have been MVP candidate. He was particularly disruptive when the 49ers needed that big play. Yeah, when they announced that Patrick Mahomes was the MVP, I thought, you know what? They should be able to name the defense. They should be able to say the defense is the MVP in this game, and all of them get like a plaque.
But there was a moment in, I don't know if it was the overtime or the fourth quarter. I might have blended them together in my head, but Chris Jones pushed that guard into Brock Purdy, and that ruined a throw. I mean, just flat out. It wasn't a sack. It doesn't really show up on the stat sheet that way, but it just blew up the entire play.
Yeah,
and he did it multiple times.
Chris Jones by himself, absolutely, you have a case. But I think that it just a blanket when you have a dominant defensive performance, that whole defense should get the list of MVP. I don't know. They probably would never do it. You guys like that idea, or you think nah? It's got to be one guy.
I think I like the idea because so much of defense, especially in the league now, it's complementary. You the back side of your defense, for your secondary, has to be able to contain guys long enough for the front side to get home. Like, how else is that supposed to work? So yeah, like, there are obviously great individual performances from a defense in a Super Bowl, but when all of those guys are doing their jobs and it's all working together, there's no way to pick an individual person. They needed all of them.
Our Jamaican friend Henry says Chiefs had a great game plan, defense in the second half. Pressure Purdy. If you look at his tape, most weakness, 5 more defenders rushing, and that's it's hard for him. No, that's true. That's true. But Purdy did pretty well with the pressure. There were times where the pressure was, I'm about to be killed. It wasn't just they were coming in, because he would to the last second, and he was laser-like focused, and he would throw the ball if he could and take the hit. He took the hits. That's the thing about him. And he takes the hit. And that's the kind of quarterback you like. One who takes the hit, but doesn't care about what's happening, isn't sitting there doing this, looking for a flag. He's watching downfield to see if the guy caught it. So I got all the respect in the world for how Brock Purdy, handled himself in all of this. But, when you got a bunch of guys rushing in on you, it makes it hard for anybody. Joseph, the friendly German, says, hello, Mr. White. Did you make the pork butts yesterday? How were they?
I did not make the pork butts yesterday. I didn't have enough time to prep. I made prime rib sliders yesterday.
Oh, that is a shame. Just another face in the crowd says, Greenlaw did a great imitation of Grammatica. Oh, that's a bad memory, isn't it? But
memory. Grammatica was celebrating.
That's right.
Greenlaw was just ready to go, and the Achilles.
You talk about how he just went. Foomp.
Yeah,
the Grammatico one was dumb. That was a dumb.
Yeah, I don't understand why the 49ers went away from the run game that was so successful in the first half of the game. I mean, I just don't.
Because the Chiefs were stopping the hell out of it, like stopping Christian McCaffrey almost right at the line of scrimmage, and a couple times 5-6 yards back. To Keon's point, when the check down comes a little later than it should, you've already got guys bearing down on you.
I just when it comes to running the football, I do think that Shanahan can get away from it at times, but I definitely thought that when they tried to get back into that rhythm, it was just hard to do, because Spagnuolo and the Chiefs just clearly decided Christian McCaffrey's not beating us. They're going to have to find somebody else. Brock Purdy is going to have to be that guy, because it's not going to be Christian McCaffrey. And they keyed in on him.
I mean, we know the final score, but whose defense looked better? Did Steve Wilkes' defense look better, or did Spag's defense look better? Because that was, the 49ers were on top for
I think
a lot of this game.
I think it just was a game of two halves. Like, I just thought Spagnuolo's defense looked better in the second half. Maybe even through 3 quarters, the Niners looked better. But from midway to the third to the end of the game, all the way into overtime, the Chiefs just looked like the more dominant unit.
Beer Bob says, after that Super Bowl prediction from Wilbert for next year, sounds like somebody's still drunk. Like I said, we should have the day off. Everybody should just have the day off. Shooter McGavin says, in overtime, should the Niners have gone for the touchdown instead of kicking a field goal, knowing that your defense is gassed? I think that they were, wherever they were, was too far off of a first down. I think there were 7 yards back off of the first down. So the smart move right there was not to Dan Campbell it. It was to kick it.
It was 4th and 4. That is, and 4th and 4, and it's all bunched up in that area of the red zone. There is no guarantee you're picking up that first. There just isn't.
State Street Brat says Leo Chanel was a monster for the Chiefs defense. Forced fumble, blocked extra point. It was huge. Turd Ferguson says 4th quarter winner or overtime winner. He says, if you're playing Super Bowl squares and it goes to overtime, who wins the final quarter amount?
I
don't know where we play these squares, if that's what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't played that either.
Against the Spread says 70 White Castles on Super Bowl Sunday is one hell of an accomplishment. It requires a will before undertaking that task. I did the math, and you would only have to eat 15 White Castles each quarter and 10 in overtime. That is one White Castle per minute of game. After that, you'd need at least 2 PTO days to recover and a Richter scale by your toilet to prove we didn't have a geological activity with your upside down Krakatoa eruption.
That's a good point.
It also requires a level of self-hatred, knowing that that's what's going to happen to you afterwards, and to still go ahead and eat all of those.
I just like my mouth too much to put White Castle in.
I like my entire digestive system too much to put White Castle in there.
It tastes like cafeteria meat. You remember that weird guy that hung around in doorways and just made everybody uncomfortable? He brought some White Castle went to the station one day, and I was like, "Well, okay, I'll try this. I guess I'll try one because this guy went through the trouble of getting it right." And after I peeled the onion off of it, I was just like, "There's a hole in the meat. What the hell is that? Was this thing shot? I mean, is that how they get their cows?" So, and I tasted it. It tasted like that, just really depressing cafeteria meat. It took me this long to figure out how to put that in words, but now you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
I do, but I'm not a fan of the White Castle. I don't
think anybody on the show is.
Doesn't work for me. Does not work for me.
Killer Rabbit says, I know he lost, but Juwan Jennings should be MVP. Threw a touchdown, caught a TD. Did it, that's right. He did both. And that's the other part of it.
And the touchdown he caught, he wasn't anywhere near the end zone, and he fought 3 people to get there. Juwan Jennings was balling.
Do you think if they'd won, they'd have made him their MVP?
If he wasn't, I would have been shocked. Yeah. I mean, he really had a monster performance.
Joseph, the friendly German, says, "Oh, yeah, that's a shame, Mr. White. Pork hearts are such a delicacy in Germany. For my Super Bowl party here in Toronto, I had wings, I had Wiener Schnitzel, and a Spätzle. Delicious."
Why did he choose all of the foods that are the most hilarious to hear in a German accent?
I think almost everything in a German accent can be hilarious.
I suppose.
As long as you do that version of German, that's the angry version.
The angry version is
Quiet Cannon says that Super Bowl was very pedestrian until that second half. Turns out it was a monster of football game overall. My wife was very pleased. She's like, "No, that was a great football game." She said, because she can appreciate both sides of it, the defense and the offense on it. She thought it was good. It wasn't exciting sometimes, but it was good football.
Yeah, it's like when you're in baseball and you're watching like the great pitchers duel. Like the home runs are obviously not there, and there's not going to be a ton of hits. But just watching how the two defenses were able to shut down the other offense, like that's part of the game too. And I don't think you want every single game to be 48-45. That's not as exciting as you think when it happens all the time.
Last Optimist says McCaffrey's average carry was 2 yards a carry lower in the Super Bowl at 3 yards versus 5 yards. Chiefs cut his production almost in half. He got the ball 22 times in the Super Bowl and averaged 18 carries in the rest of the playoffs. Yeah, they did. You're right. They did. They were there to meet him at the line with force about every single time that he had that ball. Chief Skull says, "Don't you disparage the White Castle goodness with mustard on it." Okay. Whether there's mustard or not mustard, it just I don't know what meat that is, but I am suspicious that it's not beef.
I'm beyond suspicious. I don't believe it's beef. Can't prove it. I'm just saying.
It's that mystery meat from the cafeteria. It really is. Big George thinks that Against the Spread is Scott Farrell's burner phone. Remember him, Scott Farrell?
Oh, Farrell on the bench.
On the bench. And then our sponsor is O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Yeah, I remember Scott Farrell. But no, I've met Against the Spread, so it's not him. King of Kitten says 365 days until the next Super Bowl. Give or take a day for calendar adjustment, King of Kittens. All right, we got to take a break. We come back. Let's get a little deeper into some of the things that made this game. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
There's a reason why conventional healthcare is referred to as practicing medicine. Hi, this is Dr. Hannah Lindsay. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. I regularly see patients with a variety of acute and chronic health conditions, including many autoimmune and rheumatological diseases. We can restore pain-free joint function and balance immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and overall well-being. We emphasize natural and holistic interventions with lifestyle changes and take advantage of the full palette of care options from traditional remedies to modern science. We collaborate with experts in a wide range of health disciplines, including physical therapists and specialist physicians, referring patients as needed to ensure the most effective care possible. So how about a second opinion on your health? You might just end up feeling like yourself again. Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161, or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
There's something you can do today that will impact all your tomorrows. Open an AZ 529 Education Savings Plan. Contribute just $50 a month, and you'll have nearly $20,000 by your child's high school graduation, or as a great start towards your own education savings. Your money grows tax-free and can be used for college, vocational school, or workforce training. Learn more at az529.gov. Do it today for all your tomorrows.
This message is sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Stay Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So Brock Purdy, of course, put it on himself. And like a good leader, like a good quarterback should, saying that he's like he's like, I got to score more touchdowns, and I got to do. He's like, we just I got to do better. So does anybody have any complaints about Brock Purdy? Do you feel like that he showed up as a world-class quarterback, or do you think that he's just sort of meh, and maybe the moment was too big for him?
I was happy that he showed up in his biggest stage of all, under the brightest lights of all, and didn't panic. It seemed like the kid had his composure about him and his wits about him the whole time. And he delivered, like you said earlier, under some great pressure by the Chiefs defense. And that last time he had 2 guys open in the end zone, and he missed the one guy completely, didn't see him, and the Chiefs were right up in his grill. He had to get rid of the football. There was just no chance to it. But other than that, I and you really can't criticize that. I felt like the kid. There was a couple of calls. The timeout. I think he called a timeout one time that I thought.
You're gonna want that back.
Yeah, you could have. But he's a young. He's a young quarterback, and that's. And you would rather him call a timeout and get things squared away than try to, go out and do something that would cost the team, especially in the biggest game of the year.
Randy, I 100% agree with that, because the timeout, if he was a more experienced quarterback, all you do is adjust to protection. And once you change that to protect yourself, you run the play and you still have the timeout. However, he wasn't sure exactly how to do that or what to do. I don't know exactly what was missing there, because he's a second-year player, and like they all struggle with that. Like, that's not a Brock Purdy thing. That's all of them.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Yeah. So like for him, he called the timeout. If he didn't call the timeout and ran the play, what was going to happen was he was getting smoked. Like, that's what was happening. And so, rather than risk him getting knocked out of the game entirely or taking a sack that would make it worse, he used the timeout.
Or possibly, a pick, or possibly a fumble, giving the football up.
I mean, the level of pressure that they were trying to bring in, it was smart to not allow that play to happen.
Yeah, and for the most part, he played smart. He did play smart. He didn't make big, dumb mistakes. And then a lot of these plays, he was following the orders that were coming in. He was following orders.
And
so you can't blame him on some of the plays, because it was all about the play call, which he executed as he was supposed to.
Any questions I had left about Brock got answered to me in that Super Bowl. I thought he was incredibly composed. He made the right decision the majority of the time. And even on that play where he throws it away, the guy was open. If you look at that, to be able to make that throw, there's maybe 5 guys in the NFL who can make that throw.
Exactly.
It's not just Purdy. Most of the other human beings playing football in the National Football League couldn't make that throw.
And you had was it Chris Jones? Is that his name? For the Chiefs. Yeah, him bearing down on you. I mean, it was just one of those bang bang plays. He had no time to make a decision on that. He just had to get rid of the football. Don't take the sack. You don't blame the kid for that. And I think he even realized it when he was on the turf. I think he looked up and he mouthed, whoever it was that was coming across the end zone at the back of the end zone was wide open. Yeah. And I thought I saw him kind of mouth that.
Yeah,
so-and-so was wide open.
He clearly, the game is not moving too fast for him. He knew the guy was open. He couldn't make the throw. And that will happen in the league sometimes, especially when you're playing a defense that good.
So here he is, licking his wounds, going back and, I'm sure watching the tape, learning from this. How much better do you see Brock Purdy getting? I know a lot of this is going to be experience. He needs to have some more time and experience. So he's had 1 full year, well, 1.5, right? About 1.5 actual years of quarterbacking when he was brought in, off the bench in that other season. Then he got hurt. So but he's had about 1 full year, right? So how much better can you see him getting?
I think you can expect him to get a whole lot better. Because again, like there are guys where you just look at him and you're like, yeah, no, the game moves too fast for you. And honestly, I'm not certain it's ever going to slow down. You don't get that from him. The fact that he's been able to improve every single week, the fact that even though he had a whole bunch of incomplete games in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, when they needed Brock Purdy to put together a full game of playing well, he did that. Like the growth is there. So that suggests to me that there's still more growing for him to do.
100% agree. 100%
you know what I see here? I see what we thought Josh Rosen could have been. And what I mean is the personality that a guy who can kind of play, you're like, okay, let's see. Let's hope he gets in here and he learns, he comes good. Brock Purdy never once said a thing about any of the quarterbacks drafted ahead of him. He never said anything bad about. He's like, hey, good for them. I know a couple of those guys. He's like, I don't have a grudge against them for getting drafted before me. So he's always had like the right mindset. Instead of saying, "Yeah, I'm going to show 9 other teams how wrong they are." He focused on him. He focused on him getting better, him being NFL ready, and him doing what he's supposed to do, playing his part, knowing his role. And so that's why once the game was over, he says, I failed to put us in a position to score more touchdowns. Even though I don't think it was
I don't
any
think
of his
necessarily
fault.
True,
but that's the first thing he's thinking is, how could I have done better here? How could I have made the difference? And I mean, he's, as long as he stays healthy and he keeps up that same mentality and thought process and attitude, kid was raised right. And let's hope that he, exceeds what he's even done now. And I'll tell you what, he needs to get some money. They need to pay him. He's still on his rookie contract, and he's getting $850,000 a year. Let me help put in perspective how nice a deal the 49ers have. There are 20 starting quarterbacks who made his salary before the first game of the season was even over. 19 of them, guess what? Not in the Super Bowl. Okay, Lamar Jackson of the Ravens made his entire salary in 11 minutes into game one. Yeah, because he's getting 80 million, right? It took Patrick Mahomes 16 minutes because he made 59.4 million this year. Daniel Jones, horrible Daniel Jones of the Giants. He did it in 19 minutes. Another 8 quarterbacks made his salary in between 1 and 10 games. Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers, Tua Tagovailoa, Baker Mayfield all made their money of what he made way before he did. Of course, Kyler Murray didn't take all the snaps in week 1, so I guess we don't count him in that. But he did. Same thing though. Same thing. Anyway, so yeah,
and they're gonna pay him. Just it'll kick in after 2025.
Probably would have been right now had they won the Super Bowl.
Even if they had paid him right after the Super Bowl, the money wasn't going to kick in for another, because he's still on the rookie deal, and that's just not a negotiable thing. You have to finish that, then you get the rest of your money.
Tell you what, people are like thinking, hey, they're going to fire Shanahan. I don't know if they're going to fire Shanahan.
I think that's crazy, but okay.
Also, they want to fire Jake Moody. Dude, he had the record long field goal of 55. Remember, he's a rookie. He's going to get better and more consistent. But it was, his foot that put that thing into a longest field goal in Super Bowl history. And till Butker says, hold my beer, and got his 57-yarder. So Jake Moody, does he have anything to worry about today?
No, his kick got blocked.
He missed an extra point.
Yeah, the extra point he missed, that was a blocked kick.
Yeah.
He
did kick it low, so he made it easy to block.
But they had Feely on the broadcast, and Feely said the snap was weird, and so that's not completely his fault as to why the kick doesn't go in. If the snap's weird, then the kick is going to be affected by that.
And he was previously perfect on extra points.
You know what? Let the 49ers let him go. We'll take him here in Phoenix.
Arizona could sure use him.
That kid's got some grande huevos to go out there after having a block kick and not blow another one. You know what I mean? He went out there under pressure and he kicked that long one after that kick got blocked. Look,
and Randy, he didn't blink.
He didn't, man. He didn't even sweat about it. And at the end of the game, he didn't. It wasn't boo-hoo is me. He was downtrodden because they had lost the game, but he wasn't.
He's thinking, if I had not missed that extra point.
Well, I don't know.
But it's a kicking operation. The snapper, the holder, and the kicker are part of one operation.
He's putting on him. The kicker should be putting on himself. He's like, I should have done better.
The kicker.
Obviously,
he's got to sit there and go, how can I do that differently? Because. But again, Harrison Butker is just a monster because his kick got partially blocked too, and he still kicked the damn thing so hard it went all 57 yards anyway.
Yeah.
But Harrison Butker's not human, and I just don't think it's fair to compare him to anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, of course, it's not even about comparison. It's about what do you need, and you need a consistent kicker. So now the 49ers have lost the last 3 Super Bowls they've been in. That's why all the 49er fans are being very quiet right now. They lost in 2020 to the Chiefs and 2013 to the Ravens. And wow, they're halfway, at least with Shanahan right here and right now, to become the Bills. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, though the Bills did it 4 in a row. Which
that was
insane.
right, 4 in a row.
Yeah, and the one with the Ravens was a Harbaugh loss. So technically,
So against the spread says you forget half of Purdy's 850,000 gets collected in California. every time you get paid in California, it's like having a divorce because the different levels of government take half your cash. Purdy can't even afford a starter home to rent with no holes in San Francisco. You're right.
And there's no tax breaks for athletes.
California sucks.
They're the millionaires that don't get that. So yeah, that's.
Lost Toby says, my complaint about Purdy is he didn't punch Shanahan in the face for calling a stupid game. Moody lifted his head during the extra point and made contact with the ball with his ankle. Oh, so, okay. I didn't see that. So that what it is. He's saying it was an ankle kick.
Maybe. I when I looked at the replay, I mean, I'm not a kicker. I don't know. It didn't look like it hit him in the ankle, but could be. Very possibly.
Quiet Cannon says, I believe the difference in the two quarterbacks yesterday was Patrick Mahomes knew when to scramble. He has good instinct for that. Purdy needs to develop that instinct. Until he learns how to do that, teams are going to continue to pressure him. Well, not every quarterback is a scrambler, and only one person is Patrick Mahomes, but I hear what you're saying. And he'll start to get that. He'll start to get that kind of timing, but also understanding the kind of quarterback he is, they need that line to hold. They really do. Enough with the Gilbert Goons jokes. I'm not saying nothing about nothing. Brock Purdy is a good boy. Stop it. All right, guys, it's 2 hours down and 1 to go. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Can't sleep with this cold.
Honey.
Honey?
Honey, you need NyQuil Severe Honey.
NyQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a dreamy honey taste.
Feeling better, honey? Honey? I'll take that as a yes.
Try NyQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu symptom relief. NyQuil Severe with honey flavor. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever. Honeylicious, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
8 Out presents Terrifying Jobs.
Bull Rider, take 2.
Today we're talking with Clifford Maxwell, a rodeo bullfighter. His job? Distract raging bulls from going after thrown riders. Cliff, this seems like a really terrifying job. Why do you do it?
I love protecting the bull riders when they get bucked off.
How big are these bulls?
12 to 2,200 pounds of pure muscle.
You're not cowed by any of this, obviously. Is there anything that scares you?
Yeah. Distracted drivers terrify me.
This message is brought to you by ADOT, KBA, and this station.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K244 Robert Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
All right, people, people settle down because it's time. Time for what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, all right, so we're going to wrap up talking about the Super Bowl stuff there. I think everybody's heard it. It has been talked to damn death. So, I don't know. If you guys want to text about it, we'll talk about it. But I kind of want to start moving on to, what all the other sports that are going on. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend, but we'll get there. So here you go. The Super Bowl is done. It's over. Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan were the fourth pair of head coaches to face each other in multiple Super Bowls. And now the coach who won the first game is 4-0 in the rematches. So Andy Reid. Now, everybody is starting Andy Reid, best coach ever. Hey, I remember they said that about Belichick. Remember that? Now they're looking at him like he's a hobo. Patrick Mahomes, he's the new Tom Brady. All right, everybody's the new Tom Brady. Now, I think Patrick Mahomes is on a roll, and he's a special kind of quarterback and all that stuff. But, I can't tell you what he's going to do. I can't say he's going to equal or surpass Tom Brady. I can't say that he's going to be any damn good next year, to be honest. But Andy Reid will always be an amazing coach.
I agree. First off, with the Patrick Mahomes thing, even Patrick Mahomes was like, I'm not even close. He's not taking for granted how difficult it is to get to and win those games. It seems easy now, but you change a couple of things on that roster and they're not even there. So, it's something that we take for granted because Tom Brady and the Patriots and that dynasty made it look so easy. And as for Andy Reid, Andy Reid has been a fantastic coach, even all the way back in Philadelphia, obviously went to that Super Bowl and was in a game they had no business being in because, in large part, Andy Reid. So you have to give him that credit. And now that he's finally got the Super Bowls to back up what we knew about him in the first place, it's a whole lot easier to say.
Yeah, it's hard because what were we seeing? Because, the record for the Chiefs, was, 11-4. And so that means there was only 4 disasters, but it felt like we watched a not great Chiefs team all year. It felt like I don't know. Did we just get spoiled? Did we get so used to seeing how the Chiefs were dominant and playing that even in a game they won, we were like, I don't know about these Chiefs, but it felt like that all year long.
Yeah. Well, part of it was that they did have a lot of problems and a lot of flaws. They led the league in dropped passes in terms of percentage of dropped passes. And that counts the postseason too. They had the most dropped passes of anybody, that was real. When we saw that and were concerned, that was real. Mahomes was trying to do way too much and throw the team on his back. And look, it worked in the Super Bowl, but you try to do that every single week in an NFL schedule. It's not always going to work out. And if it does, it's not always going to look pretty. So that stuff was real. But the fact is, Patrick Mahomes is he's not from this planet the way he's playing. Yep. Some of the stuff that he can do throwing off platform, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And it's hard to lose games when a guy can do that consistently.
I don't know what comes next, but are we going to call them a dynasty?
3 Super Bowls, been to 4 in 5 years. That's a dynasty in my mind.
I think so. This could be the end or just the beginning. Don't know. You got an aged Travis Kelce roiding out on Andy Reid on the sidelines, which, by the way, at first glance, that looked bad.
Didn't it?
When Travis Kelce starts screaming at him and grabbing him and stuff. And until you understand the backstory, and in fact, of Christmas of last season, where Andy Reid went after Travis Kelce, it was roughing him up. That's just how these boys play. That is just kind of their thing. Didn't upset Andy Reid in the slightest. It wasn't as bad as it looked, but it did look bad. And I'll tell you, I noticed one person who was visibly pissed off at Travis Kelce. and that was the owner's wife. The owner's wife was mad as hell at him. When they were up on the podium, she was just giving him the evil eye and saying things to her husband like, what's he even doing up here? She was angry at him. The owner was just like, the young guy, he's just like, that's fine, whatever. And he's like, singing along with Travis Kelce and stuff. So I guess maybe he has a better understanding. But I was even like, man, he needs to apologize to the coach up there.
I thought they hugged it out. I thought they did.
Well, it wasn't even a hug out thing. It's just how they are. This is how they communicate. Andy Reid has it's an open policy, man. If you have something to say, come and say it. It's just he took the coach by surprise, knocked him the hell over and stuff. It was a bit much. It was a really bad look, and I was like, man, he should be embarrassed. I mean, that was horrible.
I think he should probably still be embarrassed, just in terms of losing your cool to that degree. Is just a very bad look. But that being said, yeah, this is the locker room culture that Andy Reid has. He doesn't want anybody to hold any punches back. That's now,
that said, though, I wonder if that's what we're getting on the surface, and behind the scenes, there's going to be some people to talk to. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I know that Andy Reid, even back in Philadelphia, times where he'd call a play and then it wouldn't work out, and on the sideline he's walking with his play sheet and Donovan McNabb is behind him just screaming at him. Like, it kind of has been that way with Andy Reid teams. He doesn't seem to squash stuff like that, because I think he thinks that emotion is part of the game, and if letting it out is going to help you be a better player, just go ahead and do that.
Well, that half, Travis Kelce didn't have much going on, but at the end of the game, he was the receiver with the most yards, 90 yards. I can't remember how many catches he got. Hold on.
8, I think.
You are 9 receptions out of 10 targets. And, so, he probably could have been a little more patient, but I mean, listen, everybody understands that. And if that is the culture you have, then okay, I'm telling you, I was like thinking, and I think that the people directing the Super Bowl broadcast, you notice after that that he blew up on Andy Reid on the sideline, you did not see Taylor Swift again for a long time. And I think CBS, the people in the truck, were just like, what just happened there? Like, we can't go to Taylor Swift because now it's like the thing with that looks so bad. And like somebody should go up there and talk to her saying, that's a red flag. That's Taylor. You might want to think twice, because if he gets that mad at a 65-year-old man, you could be in danger, girl.
I did see that tweet.
What's that?
I did see somebody actually tweet that. So
did they?
Yeah. So it's just like, look, I understand what it looks like. I understand what implications people are going to draw from that if you if you do that. But I don't think it's necessarily like real life. Football is, when you're playing in the Super Bowl, it's the most important thing you do all year, and you may never get to do it again. So there's a level of pressure
the shine
there.
Off the Travis Kelce apple.
It did. It very much did. Yeah.
That was hard. That was hard to watch.
Agreed.
But it to be fair to Travis Kelce, that's just how they are. That's how it goes both ways. Andy Reid will do the same thing. He put his shoulder into him in Christmas, and was like giving him hell for throwing his helmet down. And somebody tried to hand him his helmet, and Andy Reid smacks it down. And he's like, "No!" And he's just going crazy on Travis Kelce. It's a little different when a 65-year-old man is in your face yelling at you. You're like, "Oh my God, Daddy's mad." But when it's giant Travis Kelce and this little old man, you're like, "Oh no, poor," So you got to know the whole story before you jump to conclusions.
To call Andy Reid little might be a stretch, though.
Relative to Kelce,
Kelce's a giant.
Kelce's towering over him.
Oh yeah,
I mean, but Andy Reid, listen, Travis Kelce said it's all cool. This is just how me and Big Red communicate. So we're aware that Andy Reid ain't exactly the tiniest guy either.
Yeah, it made me feel sad and uncomfortable for the whole situation. So, all right. So, by the way, for the first time, the Super Bowl had no kickoff returns. They all sailed into the end zone. One of them even hit an upright. So, Is that it? Is that it for kickoffs? Is that the trend, or are they going to come back? I mean,
no,
don't know, man.
This is where they want to go.
It's just sort of a waste of time, in my opinion. Just put the ball in the 25 and start from there.
Yeah, I guess it's knowing that a kicker could blow it and it comes down at the 40 or something, or somebody runs it out of the end zone and has a Devin Hester moment. I mean, I guess I like that there's a chance, but no, there was no chances taken.
It's just usually if your team gets to the Super Bowl, it's because your kicker is pretty good. And if your kicker can kick any distance at all from where they put the ball now, it should go out the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Can I tell you why Kyle Shanahan is no Andy Reid? Let me just tell you. I'm going to read the headline, okay? 49er players say they didn't know Super Bowl overtime rules. And then if you read the article at the bottom, it says, the Chiefs, however, said they were well prepared for overtime contingency. Defensive lineman Chris Jones told reporters that Kansas City talked for 2 weeks about overtime rules, the new ones. And he says, yeah, we talked about it all year. We talked about it in training camp, about how the rules were different in regular season versus playoffs. Every week of the playoffs, we talked about the overtime rule. That's Andy Reid telling his team about the new overtime rules. Shanahan's crew. Wait, what? That one guy says, I just looked up on the scoreboard. That's when I first saw it. What the hell, Shanahan?
Yeah, look, this is one of the things, right? So we have one of the things going on in the NFL is that everybody wants to hire a young, trendy coach. Even I've said that it would be nice. Kyle Shanahan's 44 years old, and the experience gap between Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan is gigantic, and it shows, like the attention to detail. I know Kyle Shanahan pays a lot of attention to detail, but Andy Reid has seen everything. And the amount of things that he's probably screwed up in the past. There was a time we referred to Andy Reid the way that people are starting to talk about Kyle Shanahan. Oh, he can't win the big one and all that other stuff. It's just maturing. And Kyle Shanahan still got some growing up to do as far as being a head coach goes.
Yeah, Shanahan is a better coordinator, I think, than a head coach.
I don't know about that.
I feel like
as a head coach, he's gone to the Super Bowl twice. I feel like that's plenty good of being a head coach.
Takes a village, man.
It does, but you hire the village. Like that's part of being a head coach. Is everybody on that staff is the guy you hired,
Yeah, but as a head coach though, Keon, he needs to be the CEO. He needs to be the guy in charge, and it's his responsibility to assure that team is well educated. And every offseason, head coaches and owners get together and they all go over this. And then there's a big memorandum sent out about what the new rule changes are on. Hell, I got it at the station in my inbox. So I know that Kyle Shanahan got the memorandum, and he should have taken the responsibility to at least review those rules so he could. It was a bad look for him after the Super Bowl saying, oh, well, we don't have a lot of experience with that. We went to the analytics guys and, we just decided to go ahead and take football first. We didn't really think there was
we wanted the football third, I think was what he said. So, okay. But like, that's still, I don't think he was unaware of the rules, but yeah, I agree that he should have taken the attention to detail to say, this is a possibility and we should at least know what these rules are. And he didn't do that. And that's the difference between Shanahan and Andy Reid and Shanahan and Bill Belichick and some of the other greatest guys to coach in the National Football League is when they know that something could be an angle, something could be an edge, even if it might not happen, you still have to prepare for it. And
exactly.
He'll learn that. Unfortunately, the most painfully way possible, but yeah.
Lost Toby says Shanahan is the Doc Rivers of the NFL.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, man. That's Doc Rivers. Kyle Shanahan made adjustments in that game. When things weren't working with McCaffrey, he started to try and go to the quick game a little bit to try and simulate a run game. Doc Rivers just fails to adjust to things. And Doc Rivers got carried to all the championships he currently has. I don't know that you could say that for Kyle Shanahan. His scheme is deliberately the reason why players excel in it.
Well, maybe he's a choker. Last Optimist says Shanahan said he discussed with his coaching staff during the week what they would do exactly what they did so the 49ers would get the sudden death third possession. it's all fine and good. We weren't worried if you had talked to his coaching staff last Optimus. His players were absolutely clueless. He says, yeah, but he was counting on the 49ers D to hold the Chiefs to just a field goal.
Which
you can't count on that.
I don't know if you can count on that, especially since they were already exhausted at that point. So if you were planning on that, you have to reassess that going into overtime. My defense has been on the field for a really long time. The moment that the Chiefs got the ball in overtime, there was 7 minutes and change left to go in the game. And there was 3 seconds on the clock when they ended it. You never got the ball again, even if they did get to tie it.
Jonesy says, I thought the 49ers players saying that was such a sore loser thing to do. Even if the players didn't know about the new rules, the referee explained all the new rules before the coin toss. I don't think it's about that, Jonesy. I don't think it was a sore loser thing. From everything I saw, they were legitimately just surprised. They weren't sore losering it. They weren't saying that's why they lost. They were like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the referee explained it, and they were saying that was the first time they were hearing it.
Yeah,
so that's the issue. Not that they didn't know.
Thing.
Yeah.
Oily Stool says there is one big difference between Doc Rivers and Kyle Shanahan. Doc Rivers has at least won a championship.
Doc
Shanahan,
Rivers
not even
had a collection of prime Kevin Garnett, prime Ray Allen, and prime Paul Pierce carry his ass to a title. This is not the same thing. I'm sorry.
Killer Rabbit says, I'm not sure if anyone saw it, but why was John Elway on the stage when they were handing the Chiefs the trophy? Yeah, I didn't get that either.
He brought out the trophy.
Zonka. They gave it to Zonka, who then handed it to John Elway, who walked it up to the podium. I'm like, I didn't understand any of that either, to be honest.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense either.
King of Kitten says, but that's 75 yards. Yep, I think if a kickoff goes through the upright, it should be worth a point. Imagine that, you know? Yeah,
no, I don't think
so. I kind of wonder about that too. If you can do a kickoff and it goes through the uprights, you get one.
Do you know how many free points the Ravens would have?
I'm just saying.
Justin Tucker would aim for that. That's I don't know, man. Like
I want to see that.
I don't know about that one, man.
And if I'm Justin Tucker, every time they tell me go ahead and kick it in the back of the end zone, then I'm kicking. I'm aiming for the uprights. Big George says, did Randy say he gets internal emails from the San Francisco 49ers to Kyle Shannon? Is there something that we need to inform the NFL about?
No. I said the NFL sent out the rule changes email, and I got one in my internal email.
You're on the NFL's list?
Yeah, you can just add yourself to it. It's
I got the email. I don't know how it happened.
There's like a little process to add yourself to it, but once you do, you get them forever.
Huh. I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't want them. I get enough spam. I don't.
A lot of it is deeply unimportant, but sometimes
we have a lot of text sitting here on the text line waiting to be read, and we'll come back and talk some more. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
With the Kansas City Chiefs beating the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime and capturing Super Bowl 58, it's time to look ahead at the odds for Super Bowl 59, which will be held at the Superdome in New Orleans. The 49ers are the early betting favorites to claim the Vince Lombardi Trophy. They're a plus 500, while the Chiefs are plus 650 to be the three-time defending champs. The Baltimore Ravens are plus 900. Both the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills are plus 1,200 to win Super Bowl 59, while the Cincinnati Bengals are plus 1,500. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
The Renaissance Festival is back.
Weekends now through March 31st. Great shopping, a giant crafts market, new shows featuring seafarings, mermaids, and merriment.
Non-stop feasting and more.
The Renaissance Festival is back.
Weekends now through March 31st. Discount tickets available at Bashes and Food City or ArizonaRenfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashes, Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call their hotline number now, 800-639-7101. That's 800-639-7101. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-639-7101 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. We are very, very much behind now. I gotta see if I can get us caught up here. Donnie says, anyone have any complaints about Brock Purdy? We know you don't, Jeffrey.
I don't either.
Randy didn't have any complaints.
Why would you be disappointed in that Brock Purdy performance?
I don't have any complaints about him at all.
I mean, there were some times where, if he'd gotten the ball away quicker, if he had checked down on Christian McCaffrey quicker, there's a couple of things. If he's really good at going through his progressions. He's super quick at figuring out what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. But that pressure from the defense was pretty intense. So, as far as complaints go, it's just, time. He's going to grow. He's going to grow into the things you might have complaints about. Against the Spread is also on the text line, 888-368-1580. Oh, he just, I already read that text. He did send it twice. Mr. Wilbur says, does this game have a conspiracy yet? If so, here's one. How is it those field goals were flying out of that stadium? You think maybe they were pumping an oxygen in that stadium like they do in the casinos? That way you stay awake, alert, in the air. It's very clean and fresh.
No. Those are those two guys, Moody and Butker, are two of the most talented kickers, I guess. They've got two of the strongest legs in the league. No. Is flying out of the stadium because the two guys kicking are monsters. That's why.
Quiet Cannon says, is it that Andy Reid knows that Kelsey has a hair on fire personality? Maybe he says, I think Annie Weed was probably like that. So it's relatable. Okay. Voice
Annie
text.
Reid?
I have no idea what that says. Annie, looked like you took it in stride. To me, that might've been the turning point in the game. If it was the turning point, it wasn't because of that. It was just coincidental. I don't think that did anything for Kelsey. I don't think it did anything for Andy Reid in that
because
moment.
Kelsey didn't really start to get going until much later in the game, in the second half. And it's not like the offense sparked after that. They kept on struggling for a while.
Happy Lefty says, I think Shanahan is on the Andy Reid track. People seem to forget that Reid couldn't get over the hump 5 years in a row in Philly.
That's exactly.
He didn't become who he is now until he built the Chiefs and got a top 5 quarterback talent of all time. He's great for sure, but Kyle has a way to go.
Yeah, like that's Fair the enough. Thing is Kyle Shanahan. That's what I was trying to say. Kyle's really young, and Andy Reid. I remember because I was on the East Coast and in that Philadelphia area. Everybody was saying, well, man, we might have to get rid of Andy Reid. He can never win the big one. He would go to NFC title games. That was his thing at the time. He'd go to NFC title games and lose all the time. Then they finally break through and go to the Super Bowl and they lose. So like that was just and then they had that 4-win season and the Eagles fired him. He had to become Andy Reid.
Best thing to ever happen to the Chiefs was Andy Reid getting fired in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And by the way, in the post-game conference, somebody asked this question about, do you think that old dark helmet, whatever his face is, was wrong for taking the ball? He says, absolutely not. I mean, he says he's brilliant. So Andy Reid has nothing but, confidence that what's his name again? Callahan? No, wait.
Shanahan.
Shanahan. There you go. That Shanahan is a quality head coach, and I think it's ridiculous if everybody is blaming the overtime loss on Shanahan because he took the ball first. I mean, that's like trying to pick, heads or tails. It's 50-50. I mean, it's one way or the other.
He had some sort of shaky play call here and there through the game, but I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, it's you're either doing this or you're doing that. I mean, everybody thinks that they have a bead on that. His bead was already decided. He wanted to have it third. He knew they're going to score. We're probably going to score. So let's have the ball last, and that way we can win the damn thing. So made sense to me. Beer Bob says Elway and Larry were there because it was the anniversary of their Super Bowl MVP wins. Oh, okay. You mean like every Super Bowl, just an anniversary
of somebody's
something. Okay.
Win. So it gets different people next time.
Killer Rabbit says, I remember when Peter LaFleur went sudden death against White Goodman. Kyle Shanahan needs to reach out to Patches O'Halloran for some advice. Is that from Dodgeball? I feel like that was from Dodgeball. By the way, the 49ers, they've already made them the favorites to win Super Bowl LIX, which I'm going to call Super Bowl Licks. Because why wouldn't I?
Because why wouldn't you?
That's just dumb crap to say. Oh, the 49ers are favored to win the Super Bowl and the Chiefs are in second. But shut up. It's too soon.
Yeah, but this is just the Vegas thing because they know that somebody's going to try and think that they're a genius and get an early step on it. And, the line's going to be worse later. So I'm going to do it right now. It's you can't know.
I don't even want to talk about this till summer. By the way, I did enjoy that the name of the play they won the Super Bowl on from Corn Andy Reid. Yeah, Corn Dog. I just love that. That's very Andy Reid, isn't it? The only other thing I didn't get a chance to mention, and this was in the wrong pile, is Reba McEntire doing the national anthem caused some problems for the bettors. First off, the reason Chris Jones was crying wasn't because it was beautiful, because it was bad. Oh my God, there was so much twang in that damn thing. But I was polite. We didn't mute it. I went ahead and we listened because, out of respect. And but in my head, I'm like, it was exactly as I was making fun of last week. I was like, I ain't used. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, but no, the problem is with the twang that she did a repeat ending. So, she did the song like bam, fast. And at the very end, she stopped singing after 95 seconds. The thing is, the end of the song was the home of the brave. And then she said, the brave again. So they were like, well, then if I bet on this thing to be 85 seconds, she ended it, the brave, home of the brave. It was 85 seconds. Not my fault. She decided to add on another, the brave again, and make it 95 seconds. So people were like, which is it? Which is it?
It's
BetMGM said it's both. We're just going to go ahead and pay you.
Just
all.
give you both. Well,
Yeah.
that's supposed to just to keep the most people happy. But honestly, I thought it was pretty obvious that when the singer is done singing, that is when the song is over.
Well,
so if she has a different rendition to it, like if you have a song that you like and then another band does another cover and they do it a little differently, it's going to be a different length.
But you're talking to Vegas, and
Yeah.
Vegas, as far as Vegas is concerned, in the rules, song is over as soon as every lyric had been sung.
Oh boy.
Reba McEntire adding on another 7 seconds to this. That's on Reba. So that did cause some consternation, but they said they'd honor both the over and the under bets. Everybody wins to keep
well, you know
happy.
they made enough money from all the other suckers doing all the other things that people do on Super Bowl Sunday, betting on various nonsense things, that it's okay. They'll be all right.
So, by the way, now quickly on to, since we're running out of time, all the sports that we didn't talk about in this show because of the Super Bowl was the Coyotes losing to the Predators, and well, that stunk. And then the Sun Devils beating the Utes of Utah. That was good, 85-77.
Sun Devil men or Sun Devil ladies basketball?
What? I don't know. I just saw the score, so I grabbed it.
Oh.
Are you telling me the men lost?
No, I it was so busy this weekend. I don't remember if it was men or women.
I don't know. I think it was the men.
It was the men.
Oh,
okay. All right.
85-77. Right. And then, oh my God, the Grand Canyon Lopes beat the living daylights out of the Southern Utah Thunderbirds 94-65. It just wasn't fair. Oh my, it was just, the entire thing was a bloodbath. The Lopes, and they're like, well, we'll pray with you afterwards, but there's nothing Christian about what we're doing to you right now.
Today.
No. And then the other thing wasn't great was it was a close game between the Warriors and the Suns, but the Warriors beat the Suns 113-112. Steph Curry hitting a three with 0.7 seconds left to steal the win. And then Draymond Green, jabba, at the end, and Kevin Durant just sort of laughing like, shut up, man. It's like, no, he doesn't take him seriously. But so that was the sports over the weekend. Half of it was good, half of it was bad. Of course, then there was also the Waste Management Phoenix drunk tank. That thing is out of control, and I'm glad we weren't there. Oh my God.
Every year it gets more and more ridiculous. It's so
reached a point where they're going to have to change some things. It is finally, remember we talk about how it's going to reach a point where you have to separate the crowd from the guys on the basketball court. And like, you can see there has been a change in society, and there's been a change in the way people are interacting with players. It's not like it used to be. Everyone's, oh, Jeffrey, you're worried about nothing. And then you're like, oh crap, he's right. The Phoenix Open is turning into the players aren't going to want to come back because it's getting too frustrating for them. People are going there. I don't think they're going there for the golf. They're going there to dress funny and drink a lot and stumble around on a nice yard. This is just it's gone from, hey, it's a fun party, to this is now stupid. There are brawls, and then they're just people who are stupid, drunk, falling all over each other. It's out of control.
They have to cut the alcohol off a few times.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Sober up first, and then we might give you something else. But they have to do it to everybody.
Did anybody have Nick Taylor as their winner? I don't think any of us did.
No, but good for him. I mean, listen, that guy. I thought Charlie Hoffman had this thing wrapped up, and it was down the stretch for Nick Taylor to catch up to him and tie him, and then they had to go to the playoff hole. So congratulations to him. Charlie Hoffman, I was rooting for him all the way home, man. I thought he's going to do it. He's going to win. Hey,
That's
second
tough, right?
place, I guess. It's okay, I guess.
So that was what happened non-Super Bowl, at least over the weekend. King of Kitten says, Reba looked fantastic. What? Okay. Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean to the lady with the silly putty face. I'm just not trying to but it's moving on. Kyle G says, does Purdy get the Goff treatment this offseason? It'd be a temptation, depending on who the Niners could get back.
No, he didn't do anything to lose that football game. He didn't make any big giant mistakes. I can't see the team, especially with the kind of contract he has right now, and the window being the window's starting to close, in my opinion, on San Francisco. So you want to kind of keep Brock Purdy around, paying him the price he is, and he didn't screw anything up. So.
Why would you? First off, he doesn't cost anything. So you have
have to have a quarterback to get right back. That was the Goff treatment. Goff got traded for Matthew Stafford, and you immediately won a Super Bowl. So who are they trading Purdy for to try to get the same result?
And also the reason why McVay moved on from Goff was Goff couldn't read the defense. And so, they've got the 30 seconds of communication between the coach and the quarterback. At 15 seconds, the communication cuts off. And McVay is there reading the defense and telling Jared Goff what to do in the first 15 seconds so that the last 15 seconds he can make adjustments. Well, what the Patriots figured out in that Super Bowl was, we'll just wait till the last 15 seconds. Then we'll shift into what we were actually going to do. And he can't read it. And McVay was done with that. But Jared Goff kept growing. And so now he can.
Yeah, and Brock Purdy will grow too.
But Brock Purdy didn't even have that problem. Yeah. Like Brock Purdy already knew what he was looking at. So what are you getting rid of?
He's still going to get better.
He is.
Rusty Nuts says San Francisco didn't lose. Mahomes beat him. He's just that good. And then he says, on my way home, hearts emoji. Feel like that one wasn't for us.
Yeah, I don't think that one was for us.
Rusty Nuts, whoever she is, she's not going to get that because you sent it to us.
Thank you, though.
Made me feel romantic, though.
Yeah.
Quiet Cannon says, I think the Chiefs like to see that they're not favored in Super Bowl 59. Chiefs seem to be in a good frame of mind when they're the underdogs. Yeah, it made sense that they were underdogging at least a little bit at first in the playoffs. But then as it went on, you're like, why are you doing this?
This is just silly.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Happy Lefty says, anyone else notice that Butker wore one Nike and one Adidas cleat? Kickers wearing two different shoes is common, but that may be the first time I've ever seen a professional wear two different brands of shoes. I wonder why he would do that.
I don't pay attention to anybody's feet. So
I don't know either, but
Jesus does.
Well,
and Rex Ryan. Killer Rabbit says, speaking of the Lopes, my wife and I were very happy to see a Lopes license plate out here in North Carolina today.
How about that?
Oh, that's cool. I was driving from Oregon down to Arizona, and I went into a grocery store and just to get some stuff. And I'm standing in line behind a guy who had his daughter with him, who he was on his way to taking her to Grand Canyon University. I'm like, small world, isn't it? Small world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hey, today, by the way, usually we start the show telling you what today is, but we're going to, we were very busy this entire show. It's National Poop Day.
What?
It's National Poop Day. It's a real thing. National Poop Day was created at the Madison Children's Museum in 2016 as a fun way to explore an aspect of human life that is important to our daily health.
That's Poop a real day. Aspect,
yes. So here's some National Poop Day information for you. 46% of Americans will only poop with other people around if it's an emergency. If I'm in my stall, I don't care who's around. 63% of Americans admit to holding off on pooping around a date or a significant other. Yeah, I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You carry a bottle of that poopery.
No, man. The worst thing ever is like when you have to blow up their bathroom at their house.
But you carry a bottle of that poopery.
I don't have that.
You spray that in the toilet.
You spray it in there first and then you go. Nothing.
Nothing. When you're gone in there for a while, they know what's happening.
Yeah, but they don't need to know how bad it was.
Yeah,
they really
everybody
don't.
poops.
Well, when they hear all the splashing and the screaming, I'm very aggressive when I do mine.
You need more fiber is what I'm learning there.
I might.
Shouldn't be any screaming. That's
at my age. I have to be careful. If I bend over too quickly, I might have a problem right there. I mean, it literally falls out of me. So.
I don't know, man. Randy, when Randy was younger, he'd come to my house and I had to replace several towel bars.
Well,
he just grabs a hold, just like, sweet Jesus.
They're the towel bars are warped like the Hulk was in there. It was
Yeah.
just
I had to reinforce the studs. It was bad. I don't think we need any more National Poop Day information, but there is a thing sports. Well, I guess, I mean, I don't think climbing is a sport, but some people do. But a lot of avid hikers and climbers, that go up to the Mount Everest, there's a couple things that you end up seeing up there. Dead bodies. They don't. No, there are. I'm not kidding. There's dead, frozen bodies up there.
Yeah.
People who didn't quite make it, and a lot of poop. I guess just tons of poop up there. And now there's a rule that the Mount Everest climbers have to collect their own frozen poo and bring it back down with them. By the time you get down, it's no longer frozen. So really hope you seal that bag well.
Yeah.
But the authorities have announced a new rule: put it in a bag, carry it with them, and it's nasty.
there's a chasm near the top that a lot of people. That's where you lose them. If you dropped it down there, who would know?
It's a good point. But the
that's-
Sherpas, they're they got licenses, so they want to make sure they
That's true.
don't get busted because somebody's taking a picture and they see you dropping a big old bag of dung. So
down into the chasm.
of course, it's also a money grab by the government. They say a new plan is to force climbers to buy 2 special poo bags at camp that contain chemicals and powders that'll solidify it and keep it from getting gross and stinky. So, but yeah, all the guys, I think can we just try to get the dead bodies down before you start busting everybody down for the poo?
I feel like the dead bodies ought to be the priority. There are people whose families never heard from them again. Why don't you work on that?
I mean, they know where they are,
I suppose, but
they're like, you go get him. No, I think he's good up there. He's good. He died doing what he loves. He's fine. But yeah, I guess the trails are just filled with human waste. It's visible on rocks. And when you're taking pictures there, they're like, oh, no. And it's just because it never degrades because it's frozen up there. So also for National Poo Day,
We stand up a couple of those bodies and take selfies with them too. Hey, look who I ran into.
Yeah, just like Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
The other thing, it sounds funny. This sounds like something that we would have done when we were kids. But when you just don't do this, and please just listen to what I'm saying. But I guess this 65-year-old guy was just taking his daily walk through a park in Denver. And he's like, oh, the porta potty. He's like, you know what I could do right now? I could use that porta potty.
Mhm.
And it's an extra large one. And it's made by a company called Honey Bucket. That is it's a gross name somehow.
Unfortunate name for what they decided to make.
He goes in there and he does his business. And before he was done doing the business, all of a sudden he's like, oh, is that an earthquake? And he's like, wait a second, I'm moving. And he's like, are workers picking it up? He's like, hey, I'm in here. And no, it was some teenagers. They thought it'd be fun to tip it over while he was in there. And they succeeded.
Oh, no.
And it was gross. But he was also, he hurt his back. He's 65,
Oh, no.
But he's feeling better. A man and his son saw it happen, so they were able to help him get out and then regret that. And then, and then the cops showed up and all that. So they, the kids were gone before the cops got there. So part of me is like, that's funny. The other part of me is like, that's probably not funny. I don't know. Is it still funny to knock over
no.
porta potty with somebody in it?
Oh, no.
Like if we were kids and we did it to another kid, it's funny.
Yeah,
But
without knowing who's in there, and the fact that the guy turned out to be in his 60s with some back issues, like that's not funny to me.
So for the record, on National Poop Day, don't knock over people in porta potties. That's it. I think that's the message we hope you walk away from on today's show. Thundar the Santa Barbarian says, I don't give a crap about National Poo Day.
Oh boy.
No, it's a good point. That's fair. Hurry Harry says, always bring matches. Who carries matches
Well, you
anymore?
light a match and
what are you, 90?
You light a match and it takes away the smell.
Mm-hmm.
See what I mean?
No, I get it. I've used matches, but who's walking around with a book of matches anymore or a box of matches?
Go into any cigar place, buy a cigar. They'll give you a book, a bunch of wood.
It's classy. It's classy.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Hurry Harry. That's classy. We are running very late, so we must take a break. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times, like in the middle of the morning rush when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
It's fun to put on jeans that you couldn't get into 6 months ago. Every morning, I look forward to getting on the scale.
For anybody who's struggling with their weight, it's a godsend.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to trylifemd.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at trylifemd.com. That's TRYLIFEMD.com.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
If you hit, pass it, dunk it, shoot it, check it, throw it, putt it, or block it, then we're going to talk about it.
I like that. I just thought I'd clear that up.
1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Do you feel like it's true that what goes around comes around? Do you feel like there's anything of that karma thing?
I mean, I always hope so,
that.
but I don't necessarily believe it. I think there are bad people that get away with things all the time.
Yeah, I'm feeling like maybe karma. If karma is a real thing, I think that sometimes it's very, very slow. There are people who have needed to feel the crush of karma. That you're like, how is that person still just sort of walking around? You know what I mean? That's a bad person. They did bad things, and yet they're still just getting away with it. I think we could all think of somebody in our own personal lives that is like that. You're like, oh man, that karma is just too slow. Here's what I just want to tell you right now. And another way to really demonstrate the absolute slowness of karma, if it exists. O.J. Simpson just got diagnosed with prostate cancer. That is some slow karma. That's just getting old, is what that is. There just is it. When did that happen? Back in 1994 that he killed them people and got away with it. It was 94, right? It was Randy and I first started working together, I think.
Yeah, I think it was
And here
early
we are.
90s, somewhere around there.
It's taken 30 years. Yeah, he did some time in jail, but though that was easy jail. That was in hard jail, you know. But this, this would have been promising like 20 years ago. But yeah, prostate cancer 30 years later, that's hardly the swift movements of the karmic world.
Yeah, and even the time he did spend in jail was his own fault too. That wasn't karma. That was just him being stupid.
Yeah. But evidently he's got the prostate cancer and stuff. So that's all I know. I don't care enough to read the rest of it. So that's some slow ass karma, isn't it?
Yeah. Commit 2 gruesome murders and then 20 years later.
Yeah, it's just that's how I'm not. Maybe I don't believe. I mean, I want to believe in karma. I want to believe in people getting what they got coming to them. But if it takes this long, it's not really working, is it? It is got to be something a little bit. Come on, a little bit.
Yeah,
sometimes you get to see it happen instantly. You're like, "Whoa, good job!" And then other times you're like, "What's the hold up here?
Yeah,
what is the hold up here?" So this one took forever.
Way too long.
I don't think that has. I don't think that's karma because it's prostate, and the other one was murder. So,
so you say karma should be equal level, like he should have gotten murdered. I see. No, that's a good point. Well, I thought it was just bad things happening. Bad things happen.
Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah, but what's the point? Because bad things happen to everybody. But if you kill somebody and then the worst thing that happens to you is you get a hangnail, like, sure, not good, but not the same either.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know what runs this big cosmic thing, but I'm kind of out of
hurry up.
faith in karma. I'm losing my religion.
Move it along.
it should be a song. Losing my religion.
Oh, that's about something else, though. I don't know what, because it's really hard to understand those lyrics.
Yeah. Well,
no, George, please leave me. I had to block OJ on Twitter because George was like, "Hey, OJ," and they're like, "Oh, geez, I don't want nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that." So yeah, please leave me out of it, George, or I'll block you too. King Kitten says new texture nickname Hangnail. Well, that's actually not a bad texture nickname, Hangnail.
Told you I lost all my.
Well, you can start a new list.
Text list, my texter name list.
Well, start a new list and then also maybe write these things down and write down the ones you can remember. We can get back to it. So
I'll have to try to do that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1908, the first around-the-world auto race began in Manhattan, New York, with ship connections tying together 13,341 miles in the United States, Siberia, Europe, and all points in between. A 4-man American team won this thing, defeating units from Germany, Italy, and France when they arrived at the finish line in Paris, July 30th, 169 days later. Why don't we do this anymore? That sounds like a lot of fun. Why'd they stop doing this? NASCAR is just in a circle. Why not have a around the world race, Randy? Everybody loved the Cannonball Run movies, and that was just across the country. Imagine an around the world race.
Well, I mean, if you look at like Formula One or something, they actually they don't drive around the world, but they go to many countries around the world racing.
I'm talking about an around the world race, an official around the world race, actually doing it.
Well,
Problem is, you got to go. You got to go speed limits.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just like Cannonball Run, I'm sure they'll obey all the traffic laws.
But if you get pulled over and you get detained, well, then you're out of the race. So I'm just saying you can go quicker if you want, but you have to be in safety and within reason, I think.
They still do the cannibal thing. You know that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's probably
sort
not
of secretive.
Yeah, it's not the safest thing, but still. Yeah, Ham Sandwich says, look up the gumball race. Is that what they're calling that now? Is that
Not
he says,
sure.
no, it's global.
The Gumball Rally or something?
Gumball Racer Rally. We're definitely going to look that up. Thanks, Ham Sandwich. Appreciate that. I'm just saying that sounds like fun. That sounds like an adventure, you know, to be able to do it though safely and not really anger all the different countries and stuff that you'd be going through. You know, there has to be other elements to this. I don't mean out of the car elements. I'm just like, I don't know. How do you do this safely?
The Gumball 3000.
How does that work?
Founded in 1999 by a British entrepreneur. It's a car rally which has taken thousands of supercars and entrants on an epic journey. And that's all. It's showing up. I
bet there's
all
videos.
These cool supercars, man.
Mm-hmm. Suffering A's fan says driving through half the world is kind of extremely dangerous at the moment. We can barely manage boats. Now, that is also a good point. You'd have to coordinate with friendly countries. But yeah, there's got to be something here. But I mean, I miss this. I mean, sure, it was over 100 years ago, but I miss the you could just drive fast and it wasn't like all these people around and you're going in a dirt road, you know, and I don't know. The olden days. It seems like it would have been a lot more fun back then for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way to do this now that would be amazing. King Kitten says driving down Scottsdale Road is kind of like the Gumball Rally. Driving through a lot of parts.
It's just everyone's a Tesla. That's the only difference.
Ugh. Makes me want to have like what is it, EPS or EMS? Oh, EMS, electromagnetic. Take out all these electric cars. Anyway. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. We'll be back in your radios again tomorrow, not talking about the Super Bowl, talking about new and fascinating things. It's the Daily Blender on 1580, The Fanatic.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage